Hello and welcome to Metal Gear Monday, the unquestionably favorite day of the week. Let's tweet that. How does my voice sound? How does it sound tonight? Da 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 da, ba da da da, da 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 da, ba da da da, da 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 da. Oh my god, I can't believe I didn't have the category properly adjusted to Metal Gear Solid. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome one, welcome all to another episode of the Super Bunny Hop. I used to be calling these sad streams, but I got it worked out. I can hardly believe I'm even saying that. I don't know if I've ever managed to go 5 weeks in a row feeling pretty all right. The mental dialogue is leaning more positive. I have some goals and plans in mind that are actually coming to fruition, and I am constantly reminding myself of that by looking at little journals and charts and schedules that I'm keeping track of all these progress. I just had a wonderful little writing session in the Super Bunny Hop Patreon Discord, which you can find available on patreon.com/superbunnyhop, or whatever the hell they have the URL turned to, which you can find available on the about description page of one of these streaming or channels or whatever, and be able to join. Anyways, point is, I had a wonderful little writing session where I gathered a group of fans in the Super Bunny Hop Discord and started tossing some conversation topics into the soup and got some talking going, and gradually shifted the microphone away as my concentration on the writing increased, and created a kind of office chatter sort of stimulated atmosphere going that really did help get me focused on the writing. But right now I'm focusing on narratizing, and that's a different thing. I need to be fixing the description of this stream so that it properly says that I'm playing Metal Gear Solid, and not homering and editing Iliad. No, this is not Free Stream Friday. This is Metal Gear Monday. Metal Gear Solid 1 in-game content. I was also thinking of dipping into Metal Gear Solid 2 at this point. The projects are stirring along. At some point I'm going to finish this video essay on Napoleon Kriegspiel games and do a video essay on Metal Gear Solid 3 about camera angles. And I'll be streaming Metal Gear Solid 3 from the weird Snake Eater camera angles to try and verbalize some thoughts that'll go into that video. It'll be very interesting to see what sort of methodology I develop as I go along, because it'll be kind of like taking notes, but after getting into poetry and singing, I'm almost wondering if this is a better method of doing your criticism brainstorming. Because when Julian Jaynes mentioned this a little bit in the book about Bronze Age mythology and people's psychology, how when you say something out loud and you hear it in your ears, you are spending a teeny-weeny little negligible bit, but still a little bit more mental energy, physical energy, some body energy. The food you ate earlier that day is getting turned into a little bit more activity. And that is the whatever psychological or mental energy would be required to actually move the mouth to say the words. Whatever mental energy would be required to focus on the vibrations your ear is detecting. Kind of very passively automatically forces you to think about the words a little bit harder. This is coming to me from some... Oh, this is the wrong grenade because I'm focusing on the wrong thing. Descriptions of poetic and creative processes. I feel like normal people already know this stuff and just talk about it in different words. When creative types working creative jobs work out creative methodologies, they are learning how to narratize the subconscious, unconscious thoughts and bring them out. So I think actually someone mentioned earlier, Ron Cinephile, George channeling the muses lately. That's it, isn't it? The muses is a fancy word for the psychological thought processes that can seemingly hit someone quite automatically and unexpectedly. But if you spend enough tens of hours of your day and potentially your life doing it as a job, you can gradually figure out how to trigger it manually. And that, my friends, is the tradition. And it seems to also be very mentally healthy. Yeah. I am anchoring my weeks with streams at the beginning and end that have me doing something I personally find intrinsically gratifying and rewarding, not something I'll find an obligation. The video essay topics I'll allow to be an obligation. Right now I'm working on fun ones, though, but can't get too far carried away with this stuff, can you? think I'm still gonna use one stinger to get out of here. And then I do the elevator fight with the 4 horsemen or whatever they're called in this game. And I was having trouble with that last stream. Don't have much health to work around with, but I should take motivation from how interesting this camera angle is, and how I was able to do it before well enough last run with even less health. Brute force creativity, yeah, that's the idea. Oh, no, in more ways than one that you'd probably expect. Brute force creativity, Ron Cinephile. I don't have it in the room with me right now. I had a weighted blanket on top of my lap for today's writing session. I wanted to make it a pain in the ass to leave the chair. And I think that trick did not work as well as the getting some small talk going between fans. Okay, this is cute. Uh-oh, I slowed down. Might have just made a fey. Saved it somehow. Okay, I don't know how I died. But I got a good chain going. This is a endurance test, I think. I'm gonna have to keep the repetition and the rhythm going for quite a while. It's gonna feel unnaturally long. Happy Metal Gear Monday, Val825. What should I do during the downtime when I'm going down the tower? I feel like this is a, short-term memory cleansing trick. A lot of video games in front of tough boss battles. You know how a lot of video games will have you run through a gauntlet to get back to a tough boss that you do have to retry over and over again. This wipes your short-term memory. Your muscle memory that might have been developing during the boss fight. It's such a nasty trick. Us gamers hate it. When you're fighting a Dark Souls boss who you swear would be easier if you could just retry it immediately the frame you die instead of having to walk all the way back past however many enemies are going to get you unremembering the memories and the learning curve that had been building up during the repetitions. Seems like that's going on here with these gun camera things. It's a very different motion, a very different activity than the fighting. And so whenever I have to do fighting, I have to relearn for a few frames how to fight again. Hello, Token Flip Guy. Welcome to Metal Gear Monday. Save states have spoiled me, yeah. I can't believe how embarrassing my Final Fantasy Tactics gameplay was a week and a half ago. I was really hoping that I wouldn't just eat shit and abuse save states in front of everyone for the first day I was playing an infamously tough game. Sounds like something Kojima would do, yeah, absolutely. It even happens with the ninja fight, like one of the most reflexive muscle memory-based boss fights of the game. Still has you walk down an L-shaped corridor and take a turn to the left and skip a cutscene to just get your fingers off of the same repetition that is required to beat the boss fight. So one thing to keep in mind, psychologically speaking, is that those short-term muscle memory repetitions are subconscious. You get better at them the less you verbalize them. I gotta keep that in mind before this boss fight here. I should shut up. I should fight the temptation to verbalize, because the brain power that comes out with this stuff is coming through your fingers, not your mouth. And that's another thing to think about. Don't think of your brain thinking in words. It thinks in motions. It thinks in movements. It thinks in all sorts of weird things other than words. We're making the games do what we want, like playing a musical instrument, yeah. That is a very helpful metaphor I've encountered. Instruments, theater. In the 90s, we were growing up with movies being the primary metaphor for what video gameplay is like psychologically, and it's more like a performance. You're trying to follow the game developer's script with these old difficult games.
Answer me. Snake! Snake!
I did not last very long with that one. I'm wondering if this methodology is bad, if I should maybe try a different strategy or something. It's good to take a break. No, especially after a tense moment like a boss fight. Yeah, and what's the deal with that? Because a lot of times in games they will put long, break-like segments after boss fights. You'll do a lot of walking in a straight line and thinking, man, after boss fights. Quiet time comes after boss fights. So sometimes the level design is saying the same thing with words, but in subconscious, non-verbal, interactive cues, that it's good to take a break after a boss fight. Is that what's happening in the quiet time in Kojima games after boss fights? Because it's totally a thing that does happen in these games after boss fights. Things get quiet and you take a break. In what other way could you do it? I could be doing it lethally. I could be using grenades, bombs, claymores, C4. It certainly helps with pacing. I'm thinking that pacing is a very... it's striking me as so obvious it almost feels embarrassing to say. Pacing is a very psychological thing. I feel like if you learn... it's coming to me right now. If you learn a bit about psychology, you might be able to better describe video game pacing, storytelling pacing, rather. If you learn a little bit about the speed with which thoughts hit you and how they come and go and what you will subconsciously be paying attention to, you will better be able to describe why the pacing of a story hits you so good. You'll be better able to notice the pacing of your thoughts as you go through stories. Using grenades in a closed space seems unhealthy. Yes, but so... desperate times call for desperate strategies, and I believe one of these enemies that dies will drop a ration at some point in the fight. Alrighty. So... let me... think.
Snake, there's something I forgot to tell you before.
Okay. I'm gonna try to put claymores if a big body pile appears and like 3 of them are all stacked up together. I'm gonna try to take some time to put a claymore on the pile during the minuscule little bits of frame I have to work with. I think right now is an opportunity. Yeah, it worked, and it knocked them back down. I want that domino effect, that chain of them hitting each other, and I think the claymores will contribute to that. That gives me... if they're knocking into each other, knocking each other down, that gives me a few more frames to react, because the amount of action going on here is being determined on a frame-by-frame basis. Split second, however, I can pause the action and think about what my next split-second frame-by-frame decision is going to be, and that's such an interesting way of thinking that video games are unique for engaging you to. You get all the time in the world to think about something you got to execute in a flash. You get all the time in the world to think about something you're going to have to do at the speed of thought. The merry chain of claymores seems viable. Yeah, let's do a few attempts where we'll focus on claymores and see how that turns out. Like in Dark Souls, the claymore is always the solution. I think you said it yourself once. Yeah, long ago when I didn't have the same vocabulary running through my head. Quiet time is there to help you cool down and digest the intense boss battle you just went through. Yeah, a moment of reflection. So now the, next chain of questions that I think is so fascinating me now is why, let's ask why does cooling down and digesting the intense boss battle feel good? That's the next step in this criticism adventure. We know why the quiet time's there. Now let's find out why the quiet time feels like it should be there. Why it feels so necessary, and really nailing what it contributes. I believe on the last Metal Gear Monday, the question that I was so fascinated with my narratizing, my stream of consciousness was so fascinated by, was trying to justify whether or not Hideo Kojima actually is the Homer of video games. To the question of right now, why does Quiet Time feel good? Certainly keeping our head on our shoulders a little stronger with that one. Less grandiose. Quiet Time feels good because the cyclical rhythmic cycles... There seems to be a cyclical rhythmic cycle of ins and outs to a lot of things going on in the natural world. And try as we might, the human body, and therefore, by association, the human brain, and therefore by association, the human mind, is still subject to these rhythmic patterns of ups and downs. So when you're trying to cure depression and researching psychology, they'll tell you it's important to take mental breaks. So when playing a mentally stressful game, it seems important here to take a mental break. The tough boss fight you're retrying over and over again. If you got thrown back into action again after that, why would it feel bad? To justify it from a place of negativity, how do we work with that statement? So the quiet time is so important because the human body naturally, the human mind naturally benefits from a quiet time of reflection. Not having quiet time feels bad because the human brain being constantly under stress is going to feel bad. But, you know, when you're playing video games, you're supposed to be chilling out. You're supposed to not be experiencing stress. The core, there's supposed to be something intrinsically de-stressing about video games, which we know very well to not be true.
Snake.
How do we work through that one?
There were 5 stealth
It feels nice because we give our brains a post-combat moment to relive the fight from the point of view of someone who already did it. Yeah, okay, yeah, think of that. Right. When you're thinking back and reflecting on it, you are kind of thinking about how it could have gone differently and what you might have done right. You might be satisfied thinking about what you did right during the final attempt versus what you did wrong in the last attempt. A self-congratulatory chain of reasoning where you're congratulating yourself on feeling good about doing Hey! Quiet time feels good because it gives you a moment to congratulate yourself over what you did right during the final run after enduring so many visual narratives of you getting it wrong. Gives you a moment to congratulate yourself. It feels good to congratulate yourself. Dun 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 da. Ba-da-dum bum bum ba-da. Bum 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 ba-da. Ba-da-bum bum bum ba ba bum ba ba. Dun 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 dun. All right, so I was so happy at that light bulb blinking that the monologue, the internal monologue, slowed down and allowed me to actually let my let my fingers do the talking for a few seconds of existence there. We cracked the code, yeah. So quiet time feels important because it gives you an opportunity to self-congratulate yourself. No, quiet time feels good. Quiet time feels good because it gives you an opportunity to self-congratulate yourself and get caught in a little bit of a few seconds of loop of a positively looping thinking. You're feeling happy that the thoughts are hitting you, and so you indulge in them in a while, quite subconsciously and automatically. Well, that didn't take too long to come to. I wonder what else. What other questions do we got? Oh, fuck the devil sheep dude from FFT for good measure. It gives you time to process your feelings after overcoming a challenge. But the thing is that processing your feelings is going to feel good because you did overcome it. By noticing the quiet time, you're going to have to notice that you did something that had previously been causing you great stress and pain. This is type 2 fun, right? Type 2 fun. Fun that's not fun while you're experiencing it, but fun to reflect on after the fact because of that, the self-congratulatory nature of the internal speech you're going to be giving yourself. This feels great. I feel like I just cracked the code of being able to explain why I love sadistic, masochistic gaming, too. Why I love jumping the difficulty up way up. Not because I hate myself, but because I love congratulating myself. The positive thinking habits that I feel like I've gotten into over these weeks of the Metal Gear streams are, might have this coming out and manifesting in a different way. I love, my animal creature person thing seems to get quite in a lot of enjoyment. It's injecting itself with another nice fun dosage of serotonin and dopamine when I think a self-congratulatory thought. You can see the negative effects of no quiet time. In an online game, losing players gets frustrated and rush back in will only play worse because of the stress. Another thing why I think Hunt Showdown might have hooked its way into my brain in particular so much is because of how much quiet time it gives you to think, let's say, potentially self-congratulatory or self-masturbatory thoughts instead of self-flagellating thoughts. Yeah, when I am, experiencing the quiet time in a video game after a boss battle, I might be thinking, I am more prone to getting into a loop of self-congratulatory thoughts. When I am washing dishes in the kitchen in complete silence by myself, I am prone to looping into some self-flagellating, self-criticism thoughts. So when you're feeling the frustration of a tough... Oh god, don't shoot. Self-criticism, self-flagellation comes out during moments of friction. Self-congratulatory thoughts come out during those moments of placid quiet time after a tough moment. And so nailing a sense of pacing is going to look like a rhythmic up and down of frustration and relaxation. Self-congratulatory thoughts transitioning in and out of self-criticizing thoughts. If they're coming going at a rhythmic, music-like pace, which in a video game is going to get stretched out to tens of hours and hard to notice in the short term. If the up and down diagrammic rhythmic pace that music theory people like to associate with the good emotional beats of a song, if the good emotional beats of a video game kind of line up to that sort of diagram, it seems like that's the kind of experience we are talking about when we say a game has good pacing. Ha ha! Well, let's zone out to muscle memory for a few seconds before zoning back into narratizing. Ah! I made it quite a while on that one. Those invisible assholes are there to make your life better. I don't know. I don't want to know if I don't think I want to go full Alan Watts on my explanation for processing negativity here, because I am still going to be acknowledging the privileged position with which I am even able to cope with and process and then bottle up and exploit and bring it out into art, the negativity. Most people do not have that opportunity. And heady types who get into the weeds of intellectualism can sometimes settle on some very callous, bad answers to things like the question of evil and why negativity must be there to justify the positivity. I don't know. I don't know if I'm agreeing with that one. Negativity intensifies positivity, but ultimately I think saying that it justifies positivity, I think, still carries a unfortunate hint of an implication that therefore negativity would need to be required to exist. Hunt is definitely for masochists. It's like playing F-Zero in max difficulty. When you finally get the perfect lap, you gotta stop for a second and think, God, I'm awesome. We are simulating, for the purposes of personal enjoyment, what it is like to overcome a great struggle. I feel that that is an intrinsically rewarding human activity that should not require hours upon hours of tens upon tens of YouTube video essays to justify. We are experiencing the emotional beats of overcoming a hard struggle on a small scale, simulated in a safe environment where we can stimulate some good thinking along the way. by playing video games and enjoying video games. And it is no unfamiliar human activity to use cutting-edge technology to simulate smaller-scale problems that we can relate to on a personal level. Those are good words, yeah. The good words are hitting me tonight. I just had a good writing session, and over the weeks I've developed a really good narratizing methodology for these Metal Gear Solid streams. Where sometimes, if the words are failing me, I'll just get into the rhythm of the steps and start talking about the rhythm of the steps. I can't outrun them. So, for a couple frames of time, at the speed of thought, I was thinking at the speed of thought for 2 frames there, that it might have been a good idea to test out whether or not I can outrun those turrets. And I need to resist that temptation! I can't! I cannot outrun those turrets. I've succumbed to that temptation at least twice. And it never works out. Both times it did not work out. I can't escape 2 gun turrets per single throws of chaff grenades. Single throws of chaff grenades. I'm also working on shrilling my R's. Roll. I'll figure it out someday. Rolling the R's. It's the kind of thing where the less... Don't think about it so much. Just roll your R's. Don't think about it so much. Just roll your R's. Don't think about it so much. Just roll. Yeah. Still haven't even gotten it in my muscle memory yet. Kablam! Ah! I think I was succumbing to some old man reflexes with that death. So that time I was not succumbing to temptation. I just thought it would be fun to hit the run button at the very same frame the grenade goes off, and I hit it something like 5 or 6 frames too early and watched it happening while it was happening, and it felt bad. From a biology standpoint, negative emotion exists to teach us about dangerous behavior. Yeah, and learn how to avoid and overcome them. Yeah. I've had to do a bit of research into self-destructive behavioral techniques. Yeah, apparently when you're socially isolated, everyone comes equipped out of the womb by default with self-destructive habits and intrusive thoughts, but they're there to show you examples for what fucking not to do. And apparently after too long of a period of social isolation, those instincts no longer work correctly, and I ended up getting some kind of sense of intrinsic enjoyment or pleasure out of the self-destructive habits. The thought of any actual conscious verbal thought of self-destruction wasn't happening. It seemed like it was coming out on a subconscious level. From a biology standpoint, negative emotion exists to teach us about dangerous behavior and learn how to avoid and overcome them. That shot of dopamine when you overcome an obstacle is a way of your brain of telling you, yeah, learning to do stuff feels good, pal, keep it up. George speaking the gospel. Oh boy. I don't want to accidentally form a new religion. I'm really not. I just want to get a few $1,000s in my bank account so I can move my mom into a better situation fast. On Sundays for the next few weeks, I'll be touring assisted living facilities in Atlanta. I toured one in Decatur that was, good price, but had some catches. It's gonna be so incredibly complicated doing the actual moving, too. Boomer siblings are gonna fight me on a few steps of the way, and I gotta prepare for that. The assisted living facilities these days like to have, trained therapy dogs around that keep the old folks company. It's real cute, it's real adorable. I am a fan. I am gonna introduce tough conversations about my mother's aging with pictures of therapy dogs. Yeah, associating the beginning of the conversation with something positive like a dog is gonna make it so much easier to start these tough conversations and solve these tough problems. They got a dog around the old folks' home. Think about the dog. I'm gonna think about that dog, and that's gonna make it easier to tackle old folk problems. Because I got a lot of old folk problems to tackle. There's techniques. There's ways out of these habits.
Snake.
Now's the time to watch the Golden Girls. Yeah, if you want to feel good about old people having fun. Maybe I should be watching the Golden Girls. Maybe that would actually be another good boost. Fucking shut up. Maybe I should watch the Golden Girls before bed to boost my mood when trying to get to sleep about my mom. Dun 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 dun. Man, I was hoping that Claymore was gonna detonate, and it didn't. Okay, so I need to. The Claymore's working out though. I like that method. Seems like a good method. I'm gonna incorporate Claymores into my throws, and more punches. I can knock out. I can. I don't know. It still slows him down, but it is a pretty quick, controllable move. The quick punch. I just gotta make sure I only do one punch. It's so tempting to mash the button and get a combo out. I'm sorry for getting quieter, but I've retried this section so many times that I really do think I should be prioritizing. I should be embracing the quietness and trying not to break it. Concentrate. Normal people just say concentrate. Fuck off, George. Quit verbalizing so ridiculously dramatically. Just say shut up. I gotta concentrate. Sorry guys, shut up. Sorry guys, shut up. I gotta concentrate. Sorry guys, I gotta shut up and concentrate. I love these little novelty camera angles.
Huh? Snake.
Too late, Snake. Now die.
Oh. Ah! That was the closest attempt so far, though, and I am delighted to see at how much faster it's coming with the Claymores. I never did get one kill before, but now, I at least am making that progress with the Claymore. Hey, can I... Oh my gosh, I could have been resetting myself from... Hang on a moment here. Excuse me. One moment, please. A few moments. This might take a few moments. Hey, Ron Cinephile, you know what you can do to... You know what you can do about that is... Ignore it and try to have... Try to become a happier, more mentally healthy person by consciously ignoring the things that distress you. Cynical, but can't say it doesn't work. It really does work. I didn't mention it because I thought you were challenging yourself. I'm so sorry. Unlike, not that way. I was challenging myself, just not that way. And now I'm challenging myself to see if I can go all the way back to farm a ration out of one of the guards at the nuke building. Look at all this quiet time. I think it's also remarkable that, the geographic distances of, Shadow Moses remain consistent with the kind of, ground you cover in the story. And a lot of the long tunnel of empty space that would naturally exist between, a densely populated couple blocks of urban buildings and then two big buildings and then a snow big field between them. That gets utilized, the geographic space gets utilized for narrative purposes for the pacing. The story of Metal Gear Solid is paced out like the geometry of the level design. Fucking genius. Art. The Homer of video games, everyone. Starting to believe it. Starting to believe it. I think I might have already believed it, and I've just been justifying it to myself with these streams. Our generation learned to burn out by engaging with everything, regardless of what we learned. That wasn't my problem. I burned out because I was engaging too hard with too much. Oh, that was my problem. That wasn't my problem. I had a more complicated personal situation. That was a personally gratifying axiom. That was a metaphor that I found attractive for a few seconds until I thought about it a little harder. No ration, come on, man. Food. Food. Narrative-wise, you're supposed to be stuck in the comms tower. We're experiencing ludonarrative dissonance. The narrative is not matching up with the ludo. Oh my gosh, did these two guards take shifts to pee? Why didn't they spawn rations? I choked them out using perfect sneaky stealth, and I thought that increases the chances of dropping a ration. I might have just gotten unlucky twice in a row. Happens sometimes. Now, I'm going to utilize my gamer patience to observe these guards' patterns over a longer period than usual. I'm going to call them left guard and right guard. At the beginning of their movement cycle, left guard is urinating and right guard is patrolling in a circle. There he is. I hear him now. Always be a vacuum. He's flushing. This is awesome. I love doing this without a radar. I'm pressing my ears against the wall. This feels so stealthy. He's coming. He's coming. Okay, now right guard, I think, should actually be tired of patrolling and ready to take a break now and go pee. Our brain is wired to help us work when we see the purpose of our work. Oh no. When our input seems separated from its results, we become much less tolerant to repetitive actions. Oh no. A message got pasted in Twitch chat that I think is very smart and insightful. Okay, so right guard is peeing. Yeah, that's a good way of describing in simpler language what I was. I was not feeling the motivation. Our brain is wired to help us see the purpose of our work. I was not feeling the motivation. I was not seeing the purpose of my work. My input seemed separated from its results. I became less tolerant to repetitive action. And now repetitive action is coming to me quite easily. We burn out when our work lacks purpose. Working on the Homer, again, snapped me back in. At some point last time, I spiraled out of it. And I gotta make sure I don't do that again, because it really is, like unironically, my life's purpose. There is a lifetime worth of pain getting poured into that art. Even if I'm not any kind of classically trained vocalist, I've clearly activated a passion for the spoken word that you can hear get better and better as it goes on, that I do genuinely feel is important to making that art better. Yeah, giving me a project that feels more that feels more purposeful than the video game video essays. They take alternating shifts to pee and patrol. I've heard rumors, I've never seen it for myself. They really do alternate in and out. So right guard uses the left urinal, left guard uses the right urinal, and they swap out from the bathroom to the patrol room to a predictable interval here. That's so cute. That's so cute. Have I farmed too many rations out of these guards? Did some kind of limit kick in? Oh, he's still at the commode. I think there's some extra chaffs in Hal's lab if you want to grab some extra. There's no cap. There's no cap. I'll go... I don't think I need the chaffs. I would only be using the chaffs for Metal Gear Rex, I believe. Because when I return to the comms tower, I don't think I need to use the chaffs on any gun cameras. I need rations. Either that or I need to just keep hammering away at the repetitions of the elevator fight, but... Psychological trick. No, hammering away at repetitions. Your body does not like repetitions. It is necessary, it is required to live in a society to do a lot of grindful repetitions. However, you can trick yourself. I have noticed that my mood is better now that I've gotten in the habit of eating different meals every other day, taking my dog on different walking routes every other day, and farming rations. Let's diversify that activity a bit. Hey, I might actually could use a few chaffs to make farming rations easier. Up here. Bow, bow. 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 What direction is that camera pointing at? Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm just gonna farm rations with a faster method by going from B2 to B1 fast. I think it's RNG. There's also some cam guns on the floor before Sniper Wolf 2. Food and dog walks. This different meals every day gives me purpose. Yeah. you know, we're also supposed to be going on little mini adventures every day. When you are a child, and every day seems like a new experience, and when you're going on vacation and you have to spend a few days in a completely new environment, and when you are dealing with certain periods of life problems that require long-term projects, every day feels like a new adventure where you're exploring a new chunk of the planet to chase after different animals than you did the previous day. And so, taking your dogs on different walks throughout the world can psychologically trick your brain, just making sure that every other day something new is hitting your eyeballs. Today, when I was walking my dog, I looked at my environment from a different angle than before and felt a little bit of a tingle when it happened. I think that'll add up to something grand in the long term and form of inspired creative work.
Snake, are you okay? Snake? Snake?
Well, I didn't get any chaff grenades, and I don't have any chaff grenades to help out with the gun cameras, but looks like there's an easy enough interval. So there's supposed to be chaff grenades in here? Respawning chaff grenades? I think I remember some in the lower left corner, but I'm not seeing them this time. Where are these boys? Where are my chaffy, flaky boys? Where have they gone? Maybe they're in the cubicles on the western wall of this area. In which case I gotta do some real unfortunate... It's not worth it. It's not worth it, I'm sorry, it's just not. The rations are worth it, but the chaff... do not think is worth learning the really, really nasty time interval it's gonna be that would slip me in and out of those cubicles. That's gonna take repetitions and deaths and retries. Yeah, the door says House Labs keep out, and it immediately opens up to like 8 bodies on the other side. No one kept out. And yeah, and then like 10% of the game's major story events happen in that room. Why am I not getting the rations? Nobody kept out. Ah! I also want to point out, I think I already pointed this out, but the thought is striking me again, that Hideo Kojima is the Homer of video games because Hideo Kojima was, entered into a world of traditions, of violent, masculine, manly shooter games, and made a stealth game out of a technological limit intersecting with the time of great technological development. Sneaking around, using subtlety, stealth, and deception to sneak your way through a stealth game that was developed as a happy accident because the technology couldn't handle making another shooter game, does resemble Odysseus being a clever, crafty, sneaky liar type hero as a response and seemingly thrilling evolution of the kind of manly, brutish Hercules, Achilles heroes of the earlier tales. We're not getting rations here. These rations have not been spawning. I am somewhat alarmed by that. Not only am I desperately hoping that I can farm up some rations from these guys, but I am also desperately hoping that the rest of the rations in the whole entire game didn't despawn either. Now, one thing that might be going on is there might be some kind... Token Flip Guy's saying there's no limit, but the math has been a little fishy here. I'm not expecting a ration. No ration. The math is a little fishy. There's supposed to be no limit. There's supposed to be some kind of, regularly expectable percentage chance of a ration dropping. What might be going on is I might have hit some kind of limit. Despite the claims of Token Flip Guy, there may indeed be a limit. And I may have hit that limit, which means that other guards placed earlier in the game may be able to provide me with the rations I so desperately crave. Come on. Ah! I'm very happy about that ration I just got. This would be a good time to save state. Thank you for the reminder. Save state has been created. A state of saving has been reached. Oh, thank you. After experiencing the frustration and the suspense and fear, the ration tastes ever sweeter. Oh well. 2 out of 3 is good enough. Good enough for the elevator fight, for sure. I hope he at least gets to finish his pissing before the moment of death arrives. It would awfully suck to leave this world with unfinished business, so to speak. Quiet time forces immersion. All of these, okay, that wasn't very quiet. The amount of time, it gets you into a rhythm, forces you... It's the equivalent of taking the big, deep yoga breath. Holding forward for a while is gonna... Or at least things quieting down for a while. Feels like a, ludic version of, like other storytelling formats trying to get the room to quiet down, everyone close their eyes. Ugh, no, that train of thought derailed dramatically. Quiet time forces immersion because... some reason it does, but what is it? Quiet time triggers an immersive state of hyperfocus. Quiet time encourages you to concentrate on the game. A moment of reflection in which you are lost in your own thoughts. And the game design is not stressing your fingers. It's not stressing your fingers. It's stressing your mind. Quiet time is a test of patience, not combat. Yeah, quiet time forces immersion because you're not going to be struggling with the controls and seeing a undesired output. Everything's going to go exactly the way your fingers want them to for a few minutes. Your brain doesn't got to think about it. It's going to be thinking about the boss fight, the story, whatever self-congratulatory loop, or some such similar thing the game developer wants you thinking about. Am I going the right way? Nope. The answer appeared as soon... This is how you can tell it's good level design. The answer appeared as soon as I started asking the question. And I can't help but notice, after 30 years of playing Metal Gear Solid, every single time I go down the stairs, it's like... It always hits me. I've never really committed this thing to memory. It feels like every time I play this game... I feel some pull, a draw, a temptation to go down. And right around the time I start to wonder if it's worth it is around the time the wreckage of the bottom of the staircase shows up. Oh, there's no... Don't worry, Otacon. It'll be easy this time. I'm allowed to take a hit. Bum, 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 bum. Wait. Another ration? Wait a second. I could just... Mission accomplished. Boy, oh boy, it sure does seem like being able to take one hit was the... I think I did actually take one hit. No, the ration despawned! It's fine, I don't care. Oh, I heard a gun camera. Where is it? Yeah, I can just snap more necks and get more rations later. So, during this playthrough, we were experiencing some alternate guard placements, and I am sorry to say that over the course of the playthrough, the guard placements have not seemed very alternate. It's roughly lined up with memory. And very soon, we're going to be hitting the last typical stealth challenges of the game, where an opportunity for... An opportunity for alternate guard placement will appear. Is there alternate gun turret placement here too? Why did that one catch me off guard? Needs randomizer. Maybe I need a Metal Gear Solid randomizer to become happy again. Ah! I shouldn't commit to this. I've taken too much damage. Oh, this is gonna be a cinch. I think the boiler rooms in the upcoming area are the only one. The only time I'm gonna be encountering alternate guard placements. We got the metal, the forge, the boiler room. What's it called? I called it boiler room by memory, but it's really more of a forge. There's vats of molten iron they're pouring into molds. And I think that's the last area where there's going to be guards placed with an alternate sensibility than their original placement. Furnace. They call it furnace.
Someone's aiming at me in the middle of this blizzard.
And I'm going to let the Sniper Wolf cutscenes play out too, because they're real good.
Sniper Wolf?
Yes, it's her. It's definitely her.
Otacon, you sound like you're happy.
Oh, he slowed
No,
down for
I'm
that
not.
read.
So then what is it?
Snake, please don't kill her.
Are you insane?
Please. She's a good person. You'd know that if you talked to her.
Listen to me, kid. She's a merciless killer.
I can see you perfectly from here. I told you, I'd never quit the hunt. Now you're mine.
Wolf, no, you can't.
Don't get between a wolf and its prey.
You're pretty good if you can hit me in this storm.
You see, women naturally make better soldiers.
Blue Velvet
Wolf,
line.
don't do this.
Snake, I'm near. Can't you sense me near you?
It's a mistake for a sniper to reveal her location.
Is that right? Well, I'm going to send you a love letter, my dear.
Oh, here's the
Do
Blue
you know
Velvet
what
line,
that
right?
is? It's a bullet straight from my gun to your heart.
Please, Wolf. Snake, no.
Quiet! Don't get in our way.
Now I'm gonna pay you back for Meryl.
You men are so weak. You can never finish what you start.
Analog stick is faster than D-pad, and it just turns the fog right off with no loss of frames. And thermal goggles are also going to show her right away. And then you basically just pick a pie slice and wait. Don't think this is a good pie slice. We learned stealth from Rocky and Bullwinkle. I think the PC version's screwing up her polygons on her face. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, when you're looking at a Metal Gear Solid character in the PC version from a long distance, their face goes nuts. Oh, hello. She was there. Yeah, I hit her while she was moving. The impossible oh god, I'm out of ammo. Oh, never mind, it's fine. I have 5. Excuse me one moment while I backpedal, crawl backwards on the ground to safety. Hey, Classic Gamer 101. This time we're playing with alternate guard placements, which have not been that dramatic so far. I'm really hoping I didn't accidentally screw up the save games and reload a save game with regular guard placement. But yeah, I wanted to see what the alternate guard placements were like, which means another run, which means another sniper wolf battle. Oops. Oops. Oh, I don't think I was armored for that hit. Where's the ammo? Where's the ammo? I need ammo bad. But I've got it. 5. Where am I being aimed at from? From the left! Thank you for using such an obvious laser sight. Where? Oh, from the left again. Ah, there's her smoke. I see her steam. Oh, she forgot to reload. Regular placement guards don't take turns to pee. That's interesting. So I thought I found a Easter egg, but it turned out I found the I thought I found an Easter egg for normal guard placement, but that was alternate guard placement. Normal guards don't alternate their pee breaks? Come on, guys. We went through Next Generation Special Forces training for this. Also, I should shut up and let the art happen. The camp art.
Never moving a muscle. Concentrating.
Never narrating a word. Concentrating on muscle memory.
You cannot save me.
The best cutscene in the whole game.
Please,
Yeah, I could see it. It's in the run-ins.
just finish me quick.
I think it's my favorite cutscene. The best
I am
cutscene?
hurt.
Let's see. I would say the best codec
Always
calls are when you're in
dreamed of a
prison.
peaceful place like this.
Occurred.
Yeah, this
So
is
that's why you're called
this is
Wolf.
this is the best cutscene. No, you're right.
I was
Yeah,
born on
yeah,
a
this is the best
battlefield,
cutscene in the game.
raised on a battlefield. Gunfire, sirens, and screams.
The music means I'm right,
They
and
were
that you're
my
right too.
lullabies.
The music means that Roller 42 is correct.
Hunted like dogs, day after day. Driven from our ragged shelters. That was my life. Each morning I'd wake up and find a few more of my family or friends dead beside me. I'd stare at the morning sun and pray to make it through the day. The governments of the world turned a blind eye to our misery. But then, he appeared. My hero. Saladin. He took me away from all that.
Saladin. You mean Big Boss?
I became a sniper. Hidden. Watching everything through a rifle's scope. Now I could see war. Not from inside, but from the outside. As an observer. I watched the brutality, the stupidity of mankind through the scope of my rifle. I joined this group of revolutionaries to take my revenge on the world. But I have shamed myself and my people. I am no longer the wolf I was born to be. In the name of vengeance, I sold my body and my soul. Now I am nothing more than a dog.
Wolves are noble animals. They're not like dogs. In Yupik, the word for wolf is Keglanek, and the Aleuts revere them as honorable cousins. They call mercenaries like us dogs of war. It's true. We're all for sale at some price or another. But you're different. Untamed. Solitary. You're no dog. You're a wolf.
Who are you? Are you Saladin?
Wolf. You spared Meryl's life.
She was never my real target. I don't kill for sport.
Rest easy. You'll die as the proud wolf you are.
I finally understand. I wasn't waiting to kill people. I was waiting for someone to kill me. A man like you. You're a hero. Please, set me free.
They faded. I think the different song and different music tracks required a fade. This was technically 2 cutscenes. It's too good to be just one cutscene. On a PlayStation, there might have been a 1.5 seconds of loading time for that fade.
Gun. Give it to me. She's part of me. Everyone's here now.
Oh, goosebumps. I just got my goosebumps. Let us know in Twitch chat when you get your goosebumps. Say goosebumps when you feel the goosebumps.
Goodbye.
Ah. Another second wave of goosebumps.
You said that love could bloom on a battlefield,
God.
but I couldn't save her. What are you doing?
Returning it to its owner. I don't need a handkerchief.
Why?
I don't have any more tears to shed. I'm going to the underground base. We're out of time.
I know.
Oh god, third wave of goosebumps. Third wave with the way he's reacting.
If I can't stop Metal Gear, this whole place will probably be bombed to hell.
Yeah.
We might not meet again.
I'll hang on to my codec.
Oh god damn it! I was jotting down a note for myself about a passing thought that I was worried I would forget because such an intense emotional rush was coming. Fuck off! I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, but I accidentally pressed the in button on my keyboard, which for some reason skipped the cutscene, because of course in stands for skip with an S. Reload the fight, Gork. Okay, let me actually unironically... No, it went on. It was a, I don't know if it's going to be worth the time invest. Is it? Chat seems pretty... Save just in case. I'm saving just in case, and chat seems pretty adamant that, that I should reload the fight. Com Tower BC, Snowfield, Com Tower AA. Thing with the way the save system works too, I don't know which one of these slots I'm looking at is the actual one I want. I don't know if I have okay, yeah, I'm not feeling confident enough to reload it. And the point is, I don't even want to get off the train of thought because then I might forget the funny joke that I thought of in the middle of a very serious cutscene. Okay, for a while, in and out of getting those cutscenes, I was trying my darndest to hold on to a short-term memory joke that would be funny to mention after the cutscene, but I kept forgetting it because so many emotionally intense moments were hitting me. I think I found it funny in the midst of that cutscene, and I accidentally skipped it by starting to jot it down in a note. I thought it was funny how in that cutscene, Snake seems to have picked up on a bit of, like, Native American language from living in Alaska. Does Kojima think that white people living in Alaska and in northern Canada are picking up on the language and the culture of Native Americans by location, question mark? Yeah, what is that? There is something interesting going on with that, because, Snake's interactions with Vulcan Raven suggest that he is, like, a regular visitor and participant and invested spectator of the World Eskimo Indio Olympics. Is that what it's called? He knows some of the words of the language. He drops them around in the characters. Like, it's like Kojima thinks that white guys living in Alaska are participating in Native American culture more than they probably are. And there's something kind of cute and wholesome and adorable about that. Didn't Snake say he was part native and knows native stuff in MGS2? Oh yeah, Iroquois Pliskin. I think it does come up. You might have a more plausible explanation than mine, just where I was just thinking it was Kojima ignorance intersecting against Snake being a ambiguously American white action hero guy. Kojima seems to believe the tourist stereotype that if you hang out in a place long enough, you become an expert in the local culture. It's a stereotype, but I mean, it's also idealism. That's why I find it cute and wholesome. That's the exempla, the unrealistic. You know, ironically, if we'd lived in a perfect world, then certainly everyone, after a long enough time, living in a new place would pick up on the local culture and adapt, but... Ah, of course! Maybe I should reload. The previous several runs of Metal Gear Solid have always had me run into unexpected traps in this area in particular. How easy is it to find Inuit people in Alaska? That's what I'm, like, thinking, because I've been to Alaska, and I remember it being around, but you kind of had to, like, look. It didn't look like the kind of influence that would have hit Snake automatically. But then again, if the character was already justified as being part Native American, then he might have his own personal interests in engaging with it, which kind of nullifies the whole idea, but... Oh yeah, isn't it also tradition to look at and acknowledge the parachute? At one point, he's half English and half Japanese. That's never mentioned again. I think Vulcan Raven, I think that's the cutscene where he says that he is half Japanese and half Native American. It might be Vulcan Raven who says it. It was an MG2 Solid Snake. Snake is a world citizen. Do I go for chaff or go for timing? Bum 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 bum. Ah, there was another one. Oh, alternate guard placement got me. I was about to say, I'm wondering if there was alternate camera turret placement, because I don't remember that second one there. It got me by surprise. But the guard right here, I do not remember this guy ever being at risk of looking at you right when the door opens. Which is a design challenge they have always kept in mind in every Metal Gear game. That one is always there, ... Was I just totally fucking wrong? Live on stream in front of everyone? I know that guard's there, but I don't ever recall him looking at the door, at the same placement, but now his behavior is roughly lining up with how I remember. I remember shooting this guy. I remember trying to snap his neck and it not working out very well, but shooting working out very well. So let's wait for him to turn around and turn around for a while. And we'll give him some shots. Hey, alternate guard. What? Camera, turret thing. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I thought that the alternate guard placement plus lack of radar would get me in the mood to play the game very cautiously and methodically and get some nice, good loops of self-congratulatory thinking going, but it turns out to not quite be as dramatic a different experience as I was expecting. Going through without the radar for the first run, I think, was quite enjoyably different. But going through with alternate guard placements is not quite different enough. There's been some surprises, maybe not enough to justify all the time spent. Welcome to Metal Gear Monday, not stealing my name. I hope you're enjoying your Metal Gear Monday. I think this guard's movement was slightly alternate. I don't remember him, I very clearly remember this guy. This guy is very clear in my memories. I've spent a lot of time with this guy, and I don't remember him going all the way up to the tippy top of the staircase like he did. Kinda. I enjoyed the quick glances I was doing to time up that dash under the camera. That felt good. Oh! What was that noise? Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear the guard? The guard ask, "What was that noise?" after Snake's blood-curdling scream and then smoky incineration in the metal. You just got Terminated. Dun 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 dun. It's just gonna... Ah! Okay, I don't remember this guy being at that place at that time. I think they didn't alternate his placement up too much. Just a little bit to trip you up if you go rushing ahead real fast like you might be tempted to do. Oh, come on. Bum 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 bum. Ba-da-dun-dun-dun-dun. There we go. Just gotta wait for him to take a few steps before you rush in, then you're allowed to rush. Ah! Alright, well, we're retrying. Too much damage. I gotta put my body armor on as well. Brum-bum-ba! Snake, 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 snake. Snake, 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 snake! Hey, welcome to the Metal Gear Monday stream. Lady Emily presents. Unless... I know an Emily. Wonder if that's the Emily. Dun 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 dun. Okay, so I gotta make sure I don't run into that guy who is in the bottom center of the frame. He's gonna be walking up the stairs, and if I rush ahead too fast, he'll see me, and he just saw me. So I need to use... This is interesting gameplay. I need to use the camera angle that you get halfway across the ledge. When you're shimming across the ledge, the camera angle gives you a view of that guard's movement. I need to fight temptation to not get spotted by this guy. And then I need to use a weird camera angle to slip into a weird walk cycle. Awesome! Alternate guard placement. Awesome. Good. Good stuff. Good stuff. Dun 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 dun. da da dun 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 da da dun dun dun. Oh, a box. I can also box up as soon as I land on the railing here. Alright, now what kind of camera angles do I got? I got a good angle. I'm gonna box up and wait for this guard to reappear at the... Look at this. Game developer chosen camera direction. This is funny. It's a real test of patience. There are interesting thoughts going in and out of my head as I'm waiting for this guard's feet to appear at the bottom of the frame. Oh, I'll be making noise too from the metal grate. There he is. If I go too fast, he will hear. Dun, dun, dun. And my eyes are like focused on him in an interesting way that you don't get when you're playing with the radar turned on. I can't box. I can't box up here. I gotta box at the bottom of the southern tip of the guardrail. And I'm gonna have to shoot him with my pistol when he turns his back around. I don't think you know me, though we were both on Nebula, so maybe we've been in similar circles. Oh well. It's kind of amazing how much more clear this is than the TV I played MGS on when I was a child, in all caps. Bum 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 bum. Ba da dun 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 dun. I thought he would not be offended at a box at the southern tip of the catwalk. And yet he was very offended. Throw him in the lava. I do not believe I am capable. Bum 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 bum. I'm gonna redo this area. This is a bad, terrible, no good run. Rum bum ba ba ba. Dun 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 dun. I won't ever have truly good vocal control, though, until I am able to recreate whatever sort of noise that guard just made on his way out. Bum ba 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 bum ba 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 bum ba 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 bum ba 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 bum ba ba ba. Oh, by the way, do we have any French speakers here in the chat? If you are a French speaker, if you're speaking French on Metal Gear Monday, please let us know in the chat. I have a question for you. I want to run something by you for feedback. Oh my god.
Just a bug.
Oh, I gotta get out of here. Okay. Phew. Now, while I'm sitting here resting in the corner, I'm gonna sing a little ditty from a French transliteration, and I would like to ask you how I am doing. Let's see. The Smith, oui, oui. Dun, 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 dun. Allons enfants de la patrie, les jours de gloire arrivent. Okay, hang on. I gotta turn the music off. It's gonna mess me up. Dun, 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 dun. À les enfants de la patrie, les jours de gloire arrivent. À les enfants de la patrie, les jours de gloire arrivent. What's going on? And hang on, I didn't know there was any kind of the crane. I guess the crane dips in and out of the lava, and every now and then there's a siren going off. Anyways, yeah, I'm trying to get the pronunciation and words of La Marseillaise down. And so I wrote down this transliteration for my English. Peak snaking. That was cool. French is actually my first language. Come on, I need an opinion from Z Smith, the actual French person who will know how I'm doing here. À les enfants de la patrie. I'm gonna be honest, it's not very good. À les enfants de la patrie. Super dolphin hop. À les enfants de... I've tried to figure out how they actually pronounce it when they sing it, and I swear they're going off script. I mean, half the letters in French are not pronounced anyway. Halfway, the way to speak French is to give up on pronunciation halfway through. So, the words I have out here have it saying that at some point, de la patrie is supposed to happen, but I swear when they're singing it in the song, it comes out more like all les enfants de la patrie, like they skip the la. Some letters at the ends of words aren't pronounced, yeah. Okay, so if you were to do a transliteration of those first two lines, the way they would, an English speaker could be able to look at some letters and work out some sense of pronunciation. Or if you could, narrow down on which syllable it is that's the worst, and I can work my way up from there. À les enfants de la patrie, les jeux de gloire y arrivent. Alors, allons enfants de la patrie. And then there's also that first word, which is like a weird one as well. It's spelled like allons-y, but you definitely don't say it like that. Allons-y, enfants de patrie. I'm sorry, how many little bits of damage did I just run into very, very quickly in rapid succession? We are not accepting that. I'm also nervous about how this might be the last bit of, alternate guard placement in the game! Oh, it's not gonna reset me from the bottom floor. That's a pain in the ass. Oh well, I know what to do. Dun 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 dun. Okay, the S from allons is usually silent, but since the word after it, enfant, is a vowel, they are joined. The term is liaison. Oh, that's cute. Together, so it ends up sounding something more like allons, something more like Alan Siphons. So it starts with a vowel. Allons Siphons. Alan Siphons. Allons enfants. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Allons enfants. Allons enfants. So, spelling that out transliterally, let's do two L's. Allons. Allons enfants de patrie. Okay, I see. So the next word is going to change the pronunciation of your final syllable on the last word. Allons enfants de patrie. Ugh, I just made a weird sound. The puh. They definitely don't do that in the song. The reason why some words start with an H. The H is silent, but since it's a consonant, it's going to break the liaison. Lonzo. Los enfants. No, come on. I thought it was past me. I was using peripheral vision because I was trying to look at the words. Les enfants de la patrie, les jeux de gloire. And then later, the S at the end of enfant does not affect the word death. It follows it because that starts with a consonant. No! Les enfants. Les enfants.
Snake! What happened? Snake! Snake!
So, should I be doing les enfants de la patrie? De la patrie. So, this de, I do not hear that when I hear actual French people sing the song. But when I look at the words, it's there. Les enfants de... Or at least it doesn't sound the same way. De patrie. Les enfants de la patrie, les jours de gloire est arrivé. That is definitely not the lyrics I've been hearing my whole life. That can't possibly be. There have to be a few skipped vowels or something going on in the song that I gotta figure out before I stamp this on a very important YouTube video for the public. But yeah, this is gonna be this is the Napoleon video. At some point in the Napoleon video, you're gonna hear me attempt to pronounce the French national anthem. Les enfants de la patrie. I'm still tripping up at the de la patrie. De la patrie. Les enfants de la patrie. Les enfants de la patrie. Okay, maybe if I do it as like a de la instead of de la, with a pause in between the two. Les enfants de la patrie. That seems to have it come out a little more natural. Les enfants de tree. Les enfants de tree. We get to learn a bit of foreign language. We get to learn about foreign language, criticism and philosophy methodologies, and alternate Metal Gear Solid 1 guard placement positions. Sounds more like duh. Les enfants de la patrie. Les enfants de la patrie. Dun, 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 dun. Les enfants terribles. This is awesome. This guard's route kicks ass. This is a very interesting problem to solve. I see a few opportunities. I don't feel confident about many of them. The camera angles are interesting. Sometimes he has very clear visibility, but the little pockets of out-of-frame space he can wander into are like some very annoying blind spots that are gratifying challenges to wrestle some visibility around. Yeah, like it's like I have to repeat the same attempt but get faster and faster every time for it to really work out. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that felt good. It was a little messy. It came out a little messy, but that was some satisfying Metal Gear. Dun dun. Wikipedia has an IPA transcription. That helps. Wait, okay, this is the first time I've seriously had to think about the weird pronunciation guides on Wikipedia and how they don't look like what I was seeing in my school textbooks as a kid. IPA transcription. So I guess people who live in countries other than America and have to learn multiple languages might know better what IPA means. What is that? And what is the weirdness of Wikipedia's pronunciation guide? Like, that looks like a whole new alphabet I'd have to learn. Being able to quickly and easily glance at a... Oh, come on. I was doing really well that run. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, for pronunciation guides, Wikipedia has symbols that I don't find particularly helpful. International Phonetic Alphabet. It's a new alphabet. It seems a bit counterintuitive. In order to learn how to better pronounce a word, instead of making an attempt at converting it into your alphabet in a way that might not make sense by your language's rules, but would still at least get you saying the sounds, spitting the sounds, they invent a whole new alphabet for it to represent the sounds. It seems like we have recreated the problem of there being too many languages in our effort here to bring some harmony and unity to all the complexity of all the languages. Those symbols map to specific sounds, that is, the movement your mouth does to spell the sound. Yeah, it's an alphabet. It's a phonetic alphabet. I mean, a lot of sounds don't transcribe at all. Yeah, but I feel like it would be an easier problem to have a little paragraph explaining the exception than it would be to have to go through the whole new life process all over again of learning a new alphabet. If the squiggles are drawn with modern sensibilities, that would be better, but to be fair, the ancient alphabets also are drawn to have the squiggles representing the sounds in your mouth. The P, the Roman alphabet does it. You kind of sort of stiffen up and make a at the tip, so you feel stiff down here but round at the top, and that's how a P looks on paper. There's a lot of English sounds Spanish speakers don't get, and of course vice versa. My grief is just with the amount of workload it would take to memorize an entire new alphabet for the sake of trying to elegantly represent sounds in alphabets that already aren't designed to represent those sounds. Dun 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 dun. Can't properly spell in English th, for example. Okay, that could be a th, that could be a t. I approximate it using a D sound. Sometimes a D could work, but when I see a th, when I see th, I think th. Yeah, I just said it out loud. When I see a th, I think th. There's a few other instances where it could be, but you say I can't properly spell in English th, for example. Oh, I think I know the sound you're talking about. I had a friend who studied abroad in Spain for a semester, and when he came back, he just loved saying the word basilisk. Apparently, the Spanish pronunciation for basilisk is quite different and very fun to spit out of your tongue. It goes something like batholith. Batholith. You could probably better explain it than I could, and I barely even remember it at all. I approximate it using a D sound that does not exist in French. Dun 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 dun. Also, all that training in the VR missions to the nail, the timing nailed for auto aim came in handy there with that move. It felt a little cheaper dispatching him that way instead of the more rigorous method from earlier, but I'll still take it. That is one tough guard. That is a very interesting guard. One of the top 10 alternate guard placements for this run, definitely, for sure. Oh, Spanish from Spain has ridiculous Z's and S's, even to other Spanish speakers. I think that's what got him. The English word basilisk. Something about the Spanish pronunciation of that word fascinated this guy for weeks. It was a real earworm. He would just walk around the house saying basilisk all day to practice his pronunciation. Did you know the th in the mouth, the noun, is a different sound from the th in mouth, the English, the verb? English is fun. The th in mouth, the noun, is different from the th in mouth. The verb, English is fun. When you mouth out, the other day I felt very warm and fuzzy seeing a baby mouth the sound ma to their mom. And they were mouthing the sound with their mouth. I don't get it. That doesn't sound different to me. It sounds different to you. The th in mouth is a different sound from the th in mouth as a verb. A baby was mouthing the sound ma to their mother with their mouth. He was mouthing the sound ma with the mouth. I'm not hearing it. I'm not hearing the difference. An English speaker's brain just isn't trained to even recognize the distinction. The baby was mouthing the sound with their mouth. When learning to talk, you start out by mouthing movements with your mouth. 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 You're telling me you hear different sounding words for the homonym of mouth. I've said it 4 times now. I'm trying to listen to it the way you're listening to it. I don't think it's not happening. This is crazy. Bum, 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 bum. Mouthing does seem a bit softer. That's weird. If I'm not noticing it and you are, and it's such a subtle difference in softness. The baby was mouthing the word ma to their mouth. With their mouth. It's also I'm setting up defenses on this whole to die for it because I don't think the English brain is even thinking of different words. I'm just thinking of the mouth, but as a verb. The baby's moving its mouth, so it's that noun on its face is moving around to turn it into a verb. Similar to gaming. When you're playing a game, you could totally validly say you are gaming. You're gaming a game, but it would sound uncomfortably repetitive to the ears, so the natural instinct is to say you're playing a game, but when you were saying the word gaming as a verb, it should sound the same as the game, as the noun of game, and it's not very complicated linguistics either. Quite primitive, actually. You're just nouning the verb. Skullface is just frustrated with the trial and error approach to pronunciation. This is why Skullface wanted to erase English. Wait, no, I thought Skullface's thing was that he totally was a Western supremacist, Team NATO, end of history, Fukuyama guy who wanted to erase all languages other than English. That there was a plot twist. Kaz, for a second, mistakenly believes he wants to erase all other non-English languages, but then I think he reveals in a monologue that no, he's a racist and wants to erase all other languages than English. Which doesn't fit the character too, and might just show how poor of an understanding I have of Metal Gear Solid 5's plot, because it's a fucking mess anyway. But, Skullface is just frustrated with the trial. Error part. People get all surprised that Russian has 2 words for blue, but English has 2 words for red. Pink is light red.
Damn.
Okay, compare thin versus this. What's a model sentence I could use for that? Ha! This paper's thin! This paper is thin! This thin. This thin. This thin. This thin. Yeah, there's a little more the to the this than there is to the thin. Thin, this, thin, this. You do slow down at the H. Thin, this. This paper is thin. You can actually punch these guys off the platform. Neat, let's fucking do it. What a time to be alive. We're living in a year where your Mondays have become Metal Gear Mondays, where you get linguistic talk on top of Metal Gear Solid 1 hard mode, alternate gameplay, alternate guard placement playthroughs. Think of it like color. There's broad categories everyone can see, but some people can tell the difference between chartreuse and olive, and I can't. What are the two Russian blues? Yeah, maybe I'll never think of blue the same way again after hearing their word for these two different shades of blue. Oh, and then there's also the Homer thing, the wine dark sea, and the various controversies and arguments associated with whether, when, where, and how, and whether or not the word blue shows up in in Homer's dictionary the same way it does in ours. The translators like using things like cobalt and azure, and there is an annoying academic argument over whether or not the word blue had an equivalent in the ancient and whatever Homeric Greek was. Cyrillic for lighter blues and Cyrillic for darker blues. Well, that clarifies it. No, what about transliteration? Is it possible to do this with Roman alphabet? Let's see. I'll slam this into Google and see what the Google Translate lady.
There he is.
Goluboy.
Голубой.
Goluboy. And then we got
Синий.
Shini. Interesting. The S is a she. Shini. And Guluboy. Guluboy. Shini. So, visually, what's the difference? How does the mind interpret this? Or the eyeballs, the whatever part of the mind processes eyeball information process this? Let's get on Google Images. I'm gonna die anyway. Actually, I might not die. I can shoot these guys. They're not very accurate. So Google image searching for Guluboy gives us blue. Looks like a bright sky blue, baby blue. And then Google searching for Shine. Let's see what that does. They seem like a royal blue and an aquamarine. Oh, okay. One of them's darker, one of them's slightly lighter, but they are like two different words in the language. You know, we have cyan, and to my eyeballs, cyan has always pretty much looked like confused blue. To my colorblind eyeballs, purple and blue purple has always looked like a confused blue. And that's, probably been a little minor contributor to driving me crazier than normal people at various times throughout my life. They seem like a royal blue and aquamarine especially. If you make red lighter, at which point does it start to become pink? 30%. When you make red... No, when there's only 30% of the red left behind, at that point, at this conversation, in this moment of existence, at this current time unit, in this frame of being George, a few frames ago when I said those words out of my mouth, I'm gonna say that red becomes pink when at 30% redness. This is definitely not going as well as the elevator fight did. What did I screw up here? Brum-bum-ba. Allons honde a patrie, les jours de gloire y arrive. That can't be right. That's got to be so off. That was better. Use the Stinger. Oh, really? The Stinger missiles against these guys? Oh, hey, it's Matt CD42. I remember Matt CD42. You're a bunny hop veteran. I think I remember you from like 10 years on streams from 10 years ago. I think I remember you getting me into Rainbow Six Siege. This is a blast from the past. How are you doing, Matt CD42? Yep, we're old. We are. I hope... Who am I kidding? No one's had some good pandemic years, but I hope you have weathered yours well, friend. Dun 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 dun. Sure is feeling like elevator fights today, isn't it? Boy, there sure are a lot of elevator fights going on, and I forgot to use the Stinger missiles. Ah! Ah! Hang on a minute. What's the timing on this lock-on? Oh my god, poor guy. Alright, and what's my health looking like? Do I got enough to tolerate this for Vulcan Raven? Yeah, I guess I got to. I just saw a fade to black. I'm GD Milkman in your Discord. Oh, yeah, now it's coming back. Is there a particular challenge to this MGS run? Alternate guard placement, extreme difficulty, no radar. By the way, did you get to speak at MGSCon after all? No, I did not. I missed the email and the blitz of my very busy lifestyle these days. I was not able to respond to the email in time. And then, when I did respond to the email at the last minute, an opportunity came up that ended up intersecting with a meeting I had that day. Yeah, I wasn't able to speak. Yeah, I just ultimately was too busy and too frantic this year, even for a remote one. I can't believe that when thinking about it. Yeah, literally too busy even to show up remotely. Fuck off. Saying it out loud really just suddenly made me feel instantly tired. And I have, as you have noticed, felt pretty good today and probably got a burst of energy at some point throughout the stream, it feels like. Yeah, it is disappointing. What was the digital panel like? How does that go? What is the discussion like? What is the format like? What were the topics and questions? I got to watch a bit of what Outer Heaven broadcasted, just a cosplay con. Oh. It might just be the kind of thing that certainly not be easily summarizable from such a long distance. So, some fun guards might reappear in Vulcan Raven, but I'm debating whether or not I want to commit all the way to the... I don't want to commit. I'm going to say it out loud. Yeah, no. I'm feeling my subconscious. There's a little bit of a pit in the stomach twisting when I'm thinking about doing this all the way to the end that I don't like. I don't want to commit all the way to the end, and I am debating whether or not to commit to Vulcan Raven or not. Because some guards will show up in Vulcan Raven's lair after beating the boss battle, and the boss battle might be kind of a pain in the ass at this difficulty after going through it so many times in recent memory. I do remember it being pretty fun, but it's going to be hard, and no matter how fun it is, it will be hard on extreme difficulty. So I would like to switch over to VR mode and play some VR challenges. I'm deciding whether or not... Yeah, I'll give him a few tries. I'll give Vulcan Raven a few tries. And if I have a hard time, I'll switch over to VR. If I beat him, I'll turn right back around and see what the alternate guard placements are like, and then switch to VR. But I'm mostly playing this fight just to get some guards in his room after the fight.
This is the end of the road.
Okay, he also calls Snake a Cossack. Don't forget to manually save onto your memory card.
They agree. Ravens aren't scavengers.
Kojima Frequency was a panel about what fans want in MGS3 Delta.
Which is no longer needed.
I did get tasked a random question to Phil Lamar. The VA panel was Q&A.
You were the one in the M1 tank? Must have been a tight fit for a big boy like you.
How does video game voice acting compare to animation voice acting? Not the greatest, but I came up with it on the spot. MGS really changed the game and made actual character roles proliferate instead of just yelling battle cries and death threats. Huh. So, like, the voice actors, like, getting a pile of paperwork about what their character is supposed to be thinking in the millisecond by millisecond basis. I'm noticing when singing along and imitating voice acting and doing voice acting, I visualize a Guitar Hero timeline at the bottom where a millisecond by millisecond timeline of beats is coming into me, and I'm trying not to think about it because you get better at it the less you think about it. But I'm wondering what methodology the professionals have worked out to be able to talk about the speed of thinking slowing down to that millisecond by millisecond Guitar Hero timeline-esque feeling. You can hear it. When you get into it, you hear it. There was some consciousness with how he transitioned the "so" at the end of "nevertheless" into the next syllable.
Yeah, I know.
You get into the habit, you get into it professionally, you start zooming in on them stuff on a frame time level where every little sloppy sound the mouth makes carries far more meanings. Apparently for Oblivion, voice actors would record a character's lines in alphabetical order! That explains a lot.
You want to pull each other's ears?
The form is different, but the spirit is the same. Rejoice, Snake. Ours will be a glorious battle.
This isn't glorious. It's just plain killing. Violence isn't a sport.
Well, we'll see if there's iron in your words.
Oops. I remember C4 is doing the most damage, Claymore's being the most reliable. No, I remember C4 being the most reliable. The problem with Claymore is that I'll run into my own mines after 20 or 30 seconds. Short-term memory seems to want to forget about my mines. Dun, 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 dun. Boom, 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 boom. Ah. Thought people just used Nikita missiles. On easier difficulties, yeah. Some of the old, playing these games on high difficulty modes is always a lot of fun. You really don't mind the deaths and retries. It's not a big punishment. But it's fun because your old tricks don't work. They have boss strategies change up on higher difficulty modes, and I don't remember exactly what it is about the Nikita. He shoots them down, he reacts a lot quickly. Yeah, he reacts a lot quickly to shoot them down. You might be able to get a few hits on him with the Nikita missiles on extreme mode, but you don't rely on it as your primary strategy. You gotta think of something else. So another thing I remember that gave some token damage, just a bit of damage, is a machine gun bullet to his backside when he's at long range. This boss I feel is more fun without the radar. Using your... Yeah, using your headphone sound, your stereo sound, to narrow down his location, get in position, anticipate an ambush, and then catch up with his backside is a nicely gratifying rhythm to get into and adjust yourself to physiologically. He has a rhythm to it. The human brain likes thinking in rhythm. Auditory sound, we like rhythm, repetition, predictable repetition. I just got hit by some kind of thought that I cannot verbalize well. Something about synchronizing. Video games are fun when you are synchronizing a certain feeling of rhythm that you and the game developer are both sharing together. How do I word that better? Synchronicity, rhythm, music, song, poetry. On the millisecond by millisecond basis, we seem to like songs and poetry. When a story extends to the tens of hours, we don't like songs and poetry anymore, but they still like slow down a similar rhythmic pacing. And video games have you interfacing into some kind of rhythmic, repetitive finger exercise. I am having fun playing this boss fight without the radar because I like using my ears instead of my eyes to track an enemy into off-screen space I can't see. What is the deal? Why is that fun? Why am I having fun doing that? It's got something to do with rhythmic synchronicity, feeling good as a baseline human activity that people have enjoyed for thousands of years. Ah! Bum 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 bum. Ba-da-dum bum 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 bum. Ba-da-dum. This is one of the reasons why I feel like if they ever make a movie version of the Iliad, it needs to be at least partially a musical for it to be a full, faithful, respectful adaptation of the source material. Partially why I feel people need to be hearing Homer out loud instead of reading it quietly to themselves. The human body, all your systems, the goop squirting and pumping in and out of your body is doing it to a rhythm and a beat. We love being in rhythm with our fellow humans. It feels so good. It gives you such a good dopamine hit. Ah! Is there not an Iliad movie? That feels impossible. I hate to say it, but... Yeah, I hate to say it because we're gonna get in a bit of a semantic philosophy argument about it. I hate to say it because no, there is no good Iliad movie. However, there are many Trojan cycle adaptations that kinda sort of count and show up in the same discussions. There are countless movies that use the Trojan War as a setting, but there are not many movies that make a direct adaptation of the Iliad. There are many good direct adaptations of the Odyssey, but the Iliad has avoided direct adaptation due to some trouble with the weirdness of how much more weirder it is to read to modern sensibilities. And I am like the only guy in the world in actual English history. What the hell? I seem to be the only person since the invention of radio who has ever tried to do a full-length, exciting English radio drama style adaptation of the Iliad, and that really is mind-blowing the more I think about it. There are movies, there are novels, they don't do direct adaptation. Just me. There's translation. There's movies and novels that they call retellings that are based off of it, but no one's doing something similar to what I am doing. The Iliad is weird. It would be a weird one to turn into a movie. There is a very cinematic, simple storyline about complicated human beings feeling horrible thoughts from complicated human situations and responding accordingly, and telling a poignant story about what it means to be a human being on planet Earth. However, on your way through that, there's a lot of narrative weirdness involving things like how to film the gods interacting with characters. When characters have a moment of reflection in the Iliad text, the gods swoop in and interrupt. They freeze time, and the character has an internal debate with a god as an external character. In the film Troy from 2004, they'll just have an internal dialogue. They'll say something quietly to themselves, very cinematically. People in real life don't do that. But it's to emulate them just thinking to themselves. In a movie, they'll think quietly to themselves. Having them think quietly to themselves as a visual god talking to them seems a little weirder for filmmakers to try and tackle. There's also the other thing, the Homeric repetitions and Homeric similes. I think Darren Aronofsky could do it. Homer will have you jumping to the other side of planet Earth to where a peaceful farm is harvesting the grain to describe a dust flying through the air, and adapting that to movie would be doable. It would be weird. It would be doable. It would take great filmmaking. It seems too weird for anyone with how much money it would take to have given it a serious shot at this point. I think it's doable. The more and more I think about it, and the whole nature of the project is to inspire ideas and thoughts of it being doable. But the result of the project seems to be that maybe this is actually the best way! A audio drama with sufficient enough music and sound effects to convey the idea the poetry was always meant to get you thinking all along may really be the best adaptation of the Iliad and keeping true to the original spirit. That's my convictions, that's the belief, and I really actually have to carry that through to me to be able to go through the repetitions of the hundreds of hours of labor of making this thing. Not everything is adaptable, though. I don't think a faithful adaptation of the Iliad would be a good movie. I think it would have to be a very, very long HBO miniseries made with the kind of production values you more often see associated with cinema. There would have to be a lot of music. There would have to be hyper-reality. Hyper-reality. Characters would always have to look beautiful or incredibly disgusting and ugly. And either way, they would have to be exaggerated. I think there would need to be, like, full frontal Renaissance painting nudity, even, to, convey the kind of scenes the mind's eye is going to be picturing. Yeah, in the climax of the Odyssey... Oh, this will be interesting, because there will be a movie adaptation coming out in December. Heroic nudity gets employed at some point, where Odysseus's robe gets snagged on a piece of scenery, and it all flies off, and he's chopping up bad guys butt-ass naked, like in one of the statues. And when you, with all the context of the story you've gone through, even a modern reader is gonna be, like, pretty scared and impressed by this visual that would be maybe kind of funny and silly to look at as a real human being on camera with the dangling flopping about. Yeah, like when reading about that, you can kind of get in the mindset of feeling like what it would be like to charge into battle completely exposed and vulnerable from all angles. To the eyes, though, it doesn't quite exactly come off the same way. I'm sold. I love nudity. It's heroic nudity. Non-sexualized ancient Greek heroic nudity heroic male nudity may or may not happen in The Return, coming to theaters this December. So the Odyssey is especially adaptable to film because of how much more intense Homer's visual language is in that one compared to the Iliad. When I was reading through the Odyssey most recently, I was absolutely mind blasted. I had to put it down. My eyes widened. I could not look at the world the same way for an hour after reading a line where Homer says that as Odysseus is slaughtering the suitors at the end, this may or may not have been after his clothes get snagged on a stump and get pulled off and pull him naked. Penelope and the swineherd, and Odysseus' son Telemachus all organize a very Metal Gear Solid 3 style plot of subterfuge, where the characters, are looking at suitors who they have to sneak around. When you are reading through this, your mind is going to be focused on matters of visual information so intensely that you're going to end up visualizing a movie whether you like it or not. And that is terrifying. That 3,000 years ago, a story was invented that taps into universal human storytelling, so the psychology of human storytelling so intensely that we are repeating the ideas already. I'm besides myself. This is most explicitly acknowledged in language when Homer says that Penelope peers through a keyhole at the action. And the thought of a story in your mind not really coming into place until there is vivid visual information there snaps into place when Homer is saying that Penelope is looking at the story happening through a keyhole. And more importantly, so does the frame, the implication of what you don't see. There is no other way to visualize that than as a modern person who grew up on movies, than a black screen with a keyhole-shaped silhouette cut out that has a stage with actors putting on a performance behind it, a movie set with actors, the story behind that keyframe. Like Homer is acknowledging some kind of similarity between the viewfinder of a camera and the human eyeball and the keyhole, the environment that humans create around themselves to organize their world. The door with a key in it is was so beautifully captured by that one line. I had to pause the audio and think for a minute, and that's something that I don't think the viewer of a movie would really get hit by, because the lesson of going through Homer, it's a storytelling lesson about storytelling and its long history. You have multiple parallel narratives jumbling through your mind. What I get is a narrative about being on a stage making a performance. When I read the words of Homer, I'm visualizing, I'm focusing on how difficult and time-consuming and damaging to the throat some of those words would be, and how the poet would have to constantly be worrying about these matters of professionalism while delivering the performance. And you're not going to get that when Homer's adapted to a movie. You're not going to get the storytelling, the media history lesson about how enjoying a good Homer story means that you're also enjoying a good media human history class story at the same time, about how storytelling has so evolved but also so stayed the same. And that's such a fun parallel narrative to go through that is going to be missing from a movie adaptation, that might still come through in an audio adaptation done through spoken word, as it was always meant to be done. Okay, you inspired me to listen to an audiobook of the Odyssey, narrated by Ian McKellen. I'm kind of shocked at how quickly some events happen, and especially when Odysseus arrives in Ithaca, and I still have 6 hours left. I don't know why, but it's kind of making me lose interest. So, some tips are, Ian McKellen's narration is beautiful. I know exactly the one you're talking about. I enjoy... Tip. Ian McKellen Odyssey tip. Imagine being in the Shire, hearing Gandalf tell you the story. Imagine being Ian McKellen's grandson, hearing the actor playing Gandalf telling you the story before bed. Hearing Ian McKellen, knowing that it's Ian McKellen, does something, I think, to make me appreciate that version a hell of a lot more. His voice has the ancient authority for sure. But events happening... by how quickly some events happening, yeah. Let's see. Let's keep this going. Please feel free to hold on to this thought. I might be able to talk you back into it, and I relish the challenge. So Ian McKellen's going to be doing a good job, as I recall, snapping you into realizing it's meant to be listened to, not spoken to. But I do recall having a problem with him not overacting the characters and losing track of who's talking. Your problem is that events happen too quickly, and I know what you're talking about, and I did have to work through it and adjust to it as well. When you see... Okay, are you reading along with your eyeballs at the same time as him? That might help too. Because, visual information, looking at the words, does help trigger a little bit more of nonverbal story feels happening, which is sometimes a visual, most of the time an emotion. And sometimes a sense of place, a feeling of place. When he arrives on Ithaca, Athena covers it with a magical mist. And when I hear about that, I get a little bit more claustrophobic. But one thing I remember coming and going pretty quickly was the episode with the Lystragonians. And ultimately, right now, I rationalize that. My current voice is telling me that I should say that it's not as big a deal as you might have originally thought. The chapter with the Lystragonians is not as important to the thematic problems being explored on a thematic level. It's a little bit of tension to keep the kids excited, a little bit of action, but it does come and go really quick. It did not cause me to lose interest, though. I remember having difficulty, but not worrying that I was losing interest. I think the hardest part I had was dialogue. I was losing track of who was talking until I got good at Homer. And sometimes what they were saying was so clouded on some antiquated language that I would lose track of that too. But I do remember being weirded out and challenged by how quickly the Lystragonians came and went. Let's see. There's a way we can work through this. But I would say right now that you are entering into the best part of the Odyssey. You were weirded out that he got back home to Ithaca so quick. There's 6 hours left, and he's already back to Ithaca. Yeah, to keep spoilers a light warning, I'll say that it's a quarter of the story, and it should be. The Ithacan part of the Odyssey is a violent political drama. There is intrigue. There is very tense dialogue, scary dialogue, cover stories have to be maintained, and sometimes you're worried that they might slip. Him coming back to Ithaca, I feel, and the adults in the audience have typically felt, is the best part. The kids and the younger teenagers like the adventures across the islands, and I think the old people might like hearing about Telemachus continuing on his, might like the Telemachy in the beginning. The Telemachy trips readers out too. The adventurous, fun, rollicking, swashbuckling adventures are in the middle. A tense political drama where psychological egos are going to be clashing and cover stories have to be maintained. Delicate emotional intrigue abounds in the last chapter of the Iliad, and it is brilliant. You should look forward to it. Get hyped for him to be back home on Ithaca, because that means, and it's going to take 6 hours, because it's not just about getting back home to Ithaca. His quest is also going to have him reclaiming his claim, proving his identity in a time and a place where that's not easy to do, and then also convincing people to see him as the king instead of a failure. He doesn't have to just prove his identity, but also his worth. Yeah, don't drop it up. Words of encouragement. I recognize the problems you were talking about. Hopefully I have helped you learn how to, or encourage you to come back at it with a better attitude, because the last quarter chapter of it is brilliant, not only because of how good the intrigue is, but also because of the storytelling history lesson. That's when Penelope is going to be looking at it through a keyhole, when Homer is going to be telling you, Homer is accidentally going to be telling you to visualize these scenes especially like a movie. The modern movie brain has a hard time dealing with how quickly the Lystragonians come and go. The modern movie brain is going to be delighted at visualizing a better Game of Thrones with the stuff happening in the final act. Oh, further encouragement. Oh, this is a good one. Think of this. Think of movie coming out in December, there will be an adaptation coming out of just this part of the Odyssey in particular that you're getting into. And that's because of how important this part is to cinematic history, how much actors and directors have always been into the Odyssey. That's always been the artist's favorite mythology because of how adaptable this third act has been throughout history to all the various forms of storytelling that have come about. The third act is great good stuff. The final 6 hours of the Odyssey, chef's kissed, the best. It's good stuff on the way there, but the final part has always been my favorite and has generally been the usual modern reader's favorite. I think my lack of interest... I liked when he fucked up that Cyclops' eye. They only have one of those. I think my lack of interest comes from the fact that parts of the Odyssey I was interested in... my peripheral vision's throwing my eyeball reading vision off. I think that my interest comes from all the magical, mythological stuff, which seems to go by very quick. Yes, as where I see Ithaca being 6 hours long makes me think they're dragging out the ending. No. But I do appreciate your willingness to help me out. I do have another long drive tomorrow. I might get another stop. Another thing to keep in mind is the companion piece, a guidebook, lecture series, someone in plain English, a professor in plain English explaining this stuff as you go through. I think for the Iliad I used a Spark Notes. For the Odyssey I didn't. I was able to get the Odyssey well enough, but yeah, if it makes you feel any better, do know that like even I, on my first time through, was using Spark Notes for the Iliad. At some point it snapped. I think with the Aristeas it snaps. Recognizing how much those are like video games, flashed the light bulb and I fell in love. And now I no longer have to use the Spark Notes, but the first time through was rough enough that I was using the Spark Notes. No! Okay, so it's 2 hits. I can't take 2 hits. Okay, so... my lack of interest comes from the fact that the parts of the Odyssey I was interested in is all the magical, mythological stuff, which seems to go by very quick. Okay. Yeah, how do we work this out? Because magical, mythological stuff I am absolutely positively romanticized by. And that's because it's really the parallel history with the development of rational scientific stuff. This is how the best language ancient people had to talk about unexplainable phenomenons was through the magical, mythical stuff. And that shows linguistic, philosophical phenomenons that still continue with the modern mind today when we're trying to talk about stuff that don't. Yeah, a magical, mystical thing that's going to happen a lot in Book 6, if you're looking forward to that, is Athena worming her way into Odysseus' psychology and the lies of his cover story being explained in those terms of magical, mythical stuff. Yeah, like, the magical, mythical stuff doesn't necessarily just have to be a miracle or a monster. A lot of very mundane psychological phenomenons have beautifully adventurous and poetic interpretations through this mindset that is nonetheless very captive and useful, because you might learn something about the way your brain is thinking right now by seeing how ancient authors making stories that took place in their version of reality still included a lot of magic and monsters. Yeah, no, I implore you to give it a shot. The magic and monsters is going to get incorporated with psychology and political intrigue for the last 6 hours of the Odyssey. Oh, it's so good. You'll be visualizing a suspenseful, terrifying, bloody horror movie compared to the rollicking, swashbuckling Star Wars adventure for the kids that the Odysseus' Odyssey is. And then there's the Telemachy in the beginning where the tone is really lighthearted and cute, and you're rooting for a young, confused, anxious upstart who genuinely doesn't believe in themselves, and you know by the trials they'll go through that they will at the end. That thread comes to a conclusion at the end. Another thing might be nested narrative layer diagrams. One time when I was going through the Odyssey, I don't know if this was my first time, might have been my second time, I actually got a notebook out and started drawing little concentric circles, because it is a little hard to keep track of. Once you have a visual aid, it's easy as hell to keep track of. The Odyssey begins with the Telemachy. Telemachus's quest to prove himself wraps the whole entire plot of the story. Within that story is Odysseus's Odyssey, where he washes up in the middle of a strange island and then has to explain himself to people. And he will tell some very tall stories that are adventurous, fun stories for the kids. And then at the end, where he's going through weird islands. And then at the end, you have Telemachus and Odysseus converge. Their stories gradually start converging, and the fantasy of Odysseus... I'm getting goosebumps just talking about how genius this... little pulse in the skull to shed a manly tear trying to think of how beautiful this is. The fantasy, the fantastical, whimsical adventures of the middle gradually start to fade away. When Telemachus and Odysseus meet up, the tone gets grisly and nasty and different and realist. Oh my god, it's so good. And I don't want to spoil it though, but it is so good. You can see how I'm talking about it to know how insistently I am imploring that you participate in this ancient, beautiful human tradition of enjoying a read-through of the Odyssey as countless generations of our ancestors have. The psychological effect is the reason people still practice magic today. Yeah, although I don't know if it's gonna be fooling me, but, yeah, acknowledging, realizing how much naked acknowledgement there is in some religious sacred text itself, how much acknowledgement there is in Catholic Neoplatonist works by Pseudo-Dionysius, that he is really engaging in a psychologically gratifying thought experiment. Dun, 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 dun. And enjoying a read-through of the Odyssey will improve your life and mental well-being and interaction with other human beings tremendously. If you get it. If you don't get it, you might not. But once you get it, it's the first day of the rest of your life, basically, is how powerful of a literature Homer is. Dun 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 dun. Ba-da-da. Da-da-dun. I don't want to interact with other human beings. That ruins my mental health. It's a catch-22. You got to. Okay, no, the strategy is not to interact with human beings for a while, but at some point after a few days... Yeah, only interact with human beings... Only interact with human beings just enough to fill up your social meter from The Sims, because that's a realistic representation of how human beings work, right, guys? Yeah, I am only interested in interacting with human beings just enough to keep that social meter in the green. If it dips down to the red, I'll talk about the weather with someone on the elevator, and then I'll be good. Oh, come on! I only got hit once. I thought I was wearing the armor. Why did that kill me? Have you ever considered mapping out Raven's path? I don't think it ever changes. I've got a bit of it in my short-term memory. I know that he goes... I know that that's what he does. I don't know how to describe it with words or trace it out on the camera frame, but I feel like I have a little mental map going in there that flashes into my visualization center sometimes for a few frames of thinking time. You know, I'll say it out loud. I'll say the quiet part out loud. I have wonderful, gratifying thoughts about how being a gamer for my entire life, I think, has suited me to grasp the speed of thinking. to be able to really tune in to just how fast thinking can come at you sometimes and go. Come and go. I lose good ideas like flies these days too. Comes with the territory. I almost forgot. Yeah. Remember when I was accidentally skipping the best cutscene in the game to tell you guys about a silly idea I had in my head that I was sure I was gonna forget? I need to concentrate on the game. I need to stop thinking about thinking and talking and instead think about gaming, which means not thinking. Yeah, the English word for thinking, I don't like it anymore. I'm using psychological brain power, for sure, absolutely. The brain's going a mile a minute. But I can't talk and do the same time at that? No way. But yeah, concentrating. I'm concentrating. I need to shut up and concentrate. Yeah, when people say that they're not thinking, I've never liked that. I've never liked people saying that they turn their brain off. I don't even know if you can do that. It's more that you're just not verbalizing. That's what you're doing when you're not thinking. There's got to be something in your brain still, you know, making you breathe and walk and take steps, but that you don't think about when you're doing it. And as you learn spoken knowledge, it gradually becomes unspoken, non-verbalized knowledge over the course of a complicated action worming its way into subconscious muscle memory. Think about how many words it would take a professional athlete to describe the subtleties of a perfect golf swing. A professional golfer could probably write an entire book about how to get the subtleties of a golf swing right. But the words, when they're, and they might have had to think an entire book to learn how to do it, but when they're doing it, they ain't thinking a single word. It's coming through muscle memory. Have you tried meditation? Yeah, I've tried. Couldn't get all the way there. At some point, 60 or so seconds, I just find it very difficult not to think about an itch or something. I find Tetris a pretty effective way to turn the verbalization off. But I've noticed since getting into music, another trick, two nights ago, I started noticing this one work. If I start imagining what orchestra cacophony sounds like, that'll break the mental monologue for a few seconds of some nice relaxation piece. Yeah, when I was a kid, I played the saxophone in elementary school 4th grade band class. And I remember to this day how awful everyone sounded, and how angry it made the teacher, and how confused it was from my perspective in one of the chairs. Laughing, having an amusing thought of how of the disgusting chaos noise that filled up the room for a few seconds that day breaks whatever I was. Yeah. That'll stop you thinking. If you imagine orchestra cacophony and the feeling of what it's like to awkwardly experience bad orchestra cacophony, that will stop me thinking for a few seconds. But no, and I don't even like saying it like that, because I'm thinking about the cacophony, but I can't think about talking anymore once those thoughts are hitting me. I'm thinking, but not talking. When you're playing Tetris and you're just zoning out into the Tetris zone, there's gotta be something there. You're not verbalizing, but there's no way you're an automaton. A rock can't play Tetris. A paramecium under a microscope could not play Tetris. You're solving a very complicated puzzle very quickly, and you can do it for hours without thinking a single thought. I think my best learning and retention has happened while playing Tetris. If I am playing Tetris while listening to a lecture or an audiobook. I was playing Tetris while listening to Homer back then. Advice: play Tetris, drive a car. Yeah, maybe coming away from an audiobook really feeling like I have this ridiculously passionate deep level understanding of it comes with getting the fingers. The body is snapped into Tetris mode. The body getting snapped into Tetris mode will keep me from getting distracted so beautifully. My mind will be focused deeply on the spoken word coming out of the speaker, and nothing will pull me away because I'm already pulled away well enough by Tetris. I'll be better at driving while playing Tetris? Maybe. Yeah, don't think about it so hard. Don't... Yeah, okay, when driving a car, if there is a sudden, lethal danger you got to slam the brakes on, if you stop to think about it, you're fucked. Thinking takes time, and there are many activities we do... verbalizing takes time. There are many activities we do without verbalizing. Okay, new strategy. Distract myself with chat. I'm gonna employ some psychological tricks here and try to look at this list of questions in the right on my peripheral vision and try to come up with answers to them as I play. I've gone through this routine so many times now that I bet a lot will come automatically without me thinking the words. I bet clever strategies, clever unexpected strategies that will seem way more complicated than the words I'm giving them credit for will be coming out if I don't think about it so much. Or rather, don't verbalize it so much. George, what's your favorite game novelization? Hitman, Codename 47 by Person Manson. That's my favorite video game novelization because there's a hilarious scene in the beginning where Agent 47 eats a Graham Slam breakfast at Zinni's. Oh, I also really liked the Metal Gear Solid novelization for all the wrong reasons, just because I really enjoyed, what is it, Raymond Burr? Is that the author's name? I might be thinking of a different famous guy named Raymond Burr. The author sounded like he really hated Metal Gear Solid and thought it was utterly stupid, and as someone who didn't have fingers on the game, I'll give him a break for that. If he never played Metal Gear Solid but only read the script and watched the cutscenes that the publisher provided him for the novelization product that he had to do for money, I forgive him for not liking Metal Gear Solid. It's so funny because he thinks that the script of the game is a cheesy James Bond ripoff. Snake says some cheesy action movie one-liners that are delightful. Snake will say, "Christmas came early," when knocking out a guard. He'll throw his hands and say, "Merry Christmas!" The guard hits the ground. He says, "Christmas came early." The scene, the love blooming on a battlefield is so hilarious. Because Snake's reaction in the novel version is to say, "That's a really stupid question, Otacon!" Like, the author's own frustration at the source material he's having to adapt is coming out through a really out-of-character version of Snake. Yeah, I enjoyed that for all the wrong reasons because I was laughing at it. I legitimately enjoyed the Hitman novelization because the humor was handled as well as it is in the video games. The author sounded like he didn't really know anything about what it's like playing a Hitman game, but he did get the timing down. Oh, furthermore, there's some interesting descriptions in the Metal Gear Solid novelization about what it is like playing a Metal Gear Solid video game. The author will describe a 12-second interval that Snake has to sneak between to, a 12-second interval that he has to sneak between to get a... a 12-second interval that Novel Snake has to sneak between to, get chaff grenades. Oh, rash. To get chaff grenades inside the spotlight. The spotlight section of the helicopter, the opening level of Metal Gear Solid is depicted as something that is verbalized. Don't think about verbalization! Don't think about verbalization! Stop! Okay. Question. Person Manson? George, what's your favorite game novelization? Meant to stay stimming. I only heard it said out loud. Don't steam and drive. We also talk about steaming. I'll be better at driving while playing Tetris. Yes, you will. Okay, favorite game novelizations. Resident Evil novelizations are also very humorous. They're very fun. Not favorite. I don't even know if they're very good. They're fun. I was not scared reading them. I was also not giggling reading them. Adapting Resident Evil to novel form, I think, is a fool's errand. You certainly don't play the games for the story, and you certainly don't play the games for their poetic language. I'd be interested in reading one of the Elder Scrolls adaptations. I never did read one of the Halo adaptations. That sounds a little weird to me. But Elder Scrolls sounds like it could be quite easily adaptable, and maybe not easily adaptable. Quite a lot of good fun could be had adapting a full-length novel in real life as an in-character, in-universe novel in the Elder Scrolls universe. RPG character progression systems, RPG settings are obviously immediately quite compatible with traditional media formats like novel. Let's see, what would be an interesting novelization? A very story-driven game, you would think. Disco Elysium, obviously. I will be doing a video about similarities between Ulysses. I'm even getting hungry. It's almost feeling like doing this much talking with my mouth is burning calories and making me feel... Ah! Fuck off! Okay, so... trying to steer myself away from thinking about verbalization and thinking about the game and thinking about thinking to answering questions instead. Getting my mind wandering off of a verbalization, narratization process, I don't think worked any better than the usual methods. I want to experiment with total silence. If I talk, I'm breaking my rule for the next challenge. Last challenge was to talk about something unrelated to the game and see how I perform. This time, let's not talk at all and see how I perform. Damn. No, don't ask a really interesting question. In fact, I should pull this over so the temptation isn't even there, and then minimize the OBS window so I won't be seeing double feedback. Concentrate. Okay, no, let's put this window in the smack dab middle of my screen. My nose is pointed at the middle of the frame. Let's fucking go. Ah! Okay, I think I take more damage. I think I might be taking more damage from the sides and the back. There might be some actual, like, flanking math than I do from the front. Because sometimes I take 2 hits, and sometimes I die in 1 hit. I think I'm dying in 1 hit when it hits me from a flanking angle. I'm not seeing much better performance right now, but I'm still not... I haven't felt fully committed to one of these runs. I haven't felt like I've gotten a good run, a good attempt yet. And one thing I do when I'm not talking out loud, I'm noticing I'm too, like, over-ambitious. I'm trying to squeeze a perfect demonstration of what the perfect fight looks like, and I gotta hold back on those ambitions. It's a habit. Ah! Oh my gosh, I thought the crate was gonna fall on me, and so I ran in the wrong way. Oh, shit. Okay, I got him down to half health. I don't think, shutting up and concentrating is really resulting in any better output than, willfully trying to make my mind wander. So, how do I get in the kind of space where I can concentrate on the game and play well, but not think about it too hard. Don't think about it so much. Oh no. Rum-bum-ba. Okay. New strategy. Medium amounts of small talk as I play. Maybe that'll help me concentrate on the game but not think about it too hard to the point where I end up performing worse at the game because I'm thinking of describing something from the game. There was something happened in chat that I wanted to interact with. Okay, yeah, Matt CD42, goddamn milkman. Oh, I watched Escape from New York and LA recently. It's so weird to see the inspiration and how thin it really is. You think it's thin. I know it's not literally an Escape from New York ripoff, but the character of Snake, the fact he is named Snake, the way he looks and talks, the kind of situation he's in where he has to do a top secret sneaking mission that he was kind of kidnapped and forced to do. Yeah, and you know, it is totally a different work of art with different morals and different messages, and it's about a different problem with different characters. But to say it's thin, I think might be might be taking it a bit too far. To see the inspiration, how thin it really is. Yeah, are we talking inspiration of Escape from New York to Metal Gear Solid? Or Metal Gear in general? Because it certainly is more than thin. It's gotta be more than thin. Snake looks like Kurt Russell, he talks like Kurt Russell, he's in a situation that Kurt Russell is in. There are similar shots and musical cues, beat timings. Okay, I'm just not gonna try the machine gun anymore. That was completely ineffectual. And why is it taking me a little longer to game over in the freezer versus everywhere else in the game? Why are we not healing, George? Because I have no rations. I could go back and farm if you really want me to, if you really want to see George heal. I don't know if I wanna go all the way back there. I just feel like I might. What's that noise? I think you can hear his footsteps on the other side of the door. Hello? 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 Right. Left. 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 Right. Left. Right. There's a binaural stereo audio effect to the footsteps. Anyways. The voice clip of the Ravens. Raven himself standing on the... Is it some weird... It sounded like a metallic footstep. Is there some weird audio compression, hiccuping or hitching I'm hearing that sounds like a footstep in the crows calling? Why not play with claymores? Because I keep running into them and I don't have enough health to take that kind of hit. Ah. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Oh boy. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. I should have just stuck with the C4s. No, challenge is not no hill. Yeah, challenge is max difficulty. Don't you have thermals by now? Yeah, why would the thermals? Oh, for the mines. I just pressed the button. Man, the last time I was having trouble with this boss, I also went all the way back upstairs, died a couple times at the gun cameras and mines, then had to kill so many countless helpless innocent human beings with real lives and real families and jobs and games they wanted to play too, all so that I could try and get a ration out of them, and most of the time they didn't even give me a ration. No, we're going to the guard to get a ration and heal, and then coming back down. Ah! Fuck off. Okay, yeah, I don't want to use claymores against him either, because I keep running into my own claymores because I can't stop thinking words. My short-term memory isn't holding on to where I dropped the claymores. It's constantly thinking up of new words to describe the thing. Because I've been, for a very, all the amounts of time I've been alive, minus the amount of years it took to read, to learn how to read, I've been having to worry about writing about what I'm doing at the end of the day. Is this the one with the mines? I don't see mines. One of these has mines. Where's the downstairs guard? Oh. Oh, he's coming for me right now. Okay.
Mr. Bug.
Wait, Kanzi, ha ha ha, I almost can't picture him doing bullet hell. Why not? Why can't you picture me doing bullet hell? I've enjoyed a bullet hell every now and again. Here we go. Okay, I got my one ration. Let's hope it was worth it, and let's also not take any damage whatsoever from all the nasty little surprises they put on these elevators. I hope you're having fun, dude. Oh, you have no idea. But F playing Metal Gear Solid games on the mass difficulty. Oh, you really do have no idea. I tried that before with MGS2. You have no idea! And I think I would rather catch the fox die. Earlier this year... Earlier this year... I mean, it really began last December. Clockwolf, I will have you know that one of the first things I did when I found out that my mother was old and dying and I needed money to I still do. It's you know, it takes a year. In real life, it takes a year or two for people to die. You know, if you're lucky, if you're grateful. Be grateful if it takes a year or two, actually, come to think of it. If you notice it's taking your elderly loved ones a year or two to die, that's a good thing. In any case, definitely not like how it's depicted in movies. Yeah, when I got the news, the plan was to play Metal Gear Solid 2 on the highest difficulty for some extra money on stream. Yeah, in the midst of an emotionally intense life experience, I am still able to gracefully feel at peace, almost, playing Metal Gear games at the hardest difficulty. It's not that bad. It's just a different methodology. You just adjust to a different mindset, that's all. I have a vague notion of you'd be tired of the gaminess of video games. It seems that kind of thing would be tiresome. Right. Oh, the bullet hell talk. That's, I was just gonna have you know that I have played a bullet hell in my time or two. I have gotten good. I like the The immortalized, brilliant poet Dante Alighieri himself have ventured into the depths of the bullet-riddled hell, squeezed my way in and out. Gaps of existential terror, no less than 1 pixel wide. And come out of it with a kind of initiative and grace of joy that has me wanting to relive those halcyon younger days when the YouTube channel was more on track and the fascists had not yet won power. I'm sitting here in front of my desk in a dark room hitting the install button of an old personal computer game from many, many years ago, released in the far, exotic and mysterious land of Japan for a limited audience that very few people had ever known about at all until I came around to show the world what they were missing. Just to prove to you right the hell now that I sure as hell can enjoy relaxing with a good stupid bullet hell game and actually need something to get me to stop thinking words so much and start thinking muscle memory more. I am literally going to install Crimson Clover World Ignition right now, put it back on my computer, and play a run or two as a refresher from all this Metal Gear. I've been playing Metal Gear Monday on very high difficulties in very weird ways, and I've been having a lot of fun and coming up with great ideas, great brainstorming. But this is going to be a slightly different Metal Gear Monday. Oh, it's not actually downloaded yet. Okay, when I die and make one more attempt, we'll have a slightly different Metal Gear Monday. And truly enter the actual bullet hell. I mean, I don't know. Okay, chat, new question. Let's do a poll. What when you close your eyes, okay, not when you close your eyes, when you pry your eyes wide open and look for, like, what are we at now? 20, 30 minutes of getting stuck at this Vulcan Raven boss fight. Is this not bullet hell? I'm basically going from one bullet hell to another. I am going from one bullet hell to relax me and refresh me for a different kind of bullet hell. Ah, damn. I just exploded my own self on top of my own bomb. Damn. Wait. I also have a lot more health, so the boss fight is not going to be that hard. Anyway. Why did I... Oh my gosh. I forgot. I completely forgot. I was talking through it, and it didn't get stamped down very hard into short-term memory. Yeah, for a second, I forgot that I had gone back to farm up the rations, so I don't need to be taking this as seriously. Let's just reset, try to do another attempt. Dun, dun, dun. Let's refresh with a few minutes of bullet hell to get bad muscle memory habits out of my brain for a few minutes. Oh god, we're launching an exclusive full screen mode on a different game. Shmup people get particular. Oh no, installing the game is ruining your stream? Oh, you know Jamestown. Jamestown has bullets in it. Oh no! My mouse is lagging. Also, I'm just now realizing how the music is not instantly, immediately impressive or beautifully thematically appropriate or launching me into the game at all. In fact, it seemed like the game has crashed. George is having frame dips. We're glitching out. Things. We're entering hell. Bullet hell. Okay, well, if Crimson Clover isn't gonna work, maybe Jamestown will work, but maybe Crimson Clover just needed the good old turn it off, turn it back on again trick. Now the editing computer is going to. Okay. If I alt-tab out of this black screen I'm in right now, it might break the game. Let's get through loading, turn it to windowed mode, and refresh my frustrated and fried psychological sensibilities with there we go, windowed mode. With a mechanically simple and visually elegant shmup. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Wait, hang on. No, we can even be harder gamers about this. Game Capture 2. I'm just now realizing that my inputs in Game Capture 1 are transitioning over to Game Capture 2 with Metal Gear Solid here. So what I can do is have both of these guys occupy little corners of the space at the same time. Oh boy, start game. Novice easy mode. We're playing for relaxation. Standard mode, type 1. Let's fucking go. Oh boy. Okay, I don't even have a big enough screen to do this. We gotta skip to, how do I press start to skip? Why is it not detecting the start button? Oh, my X input I think is all fucked up. Oh boy, oh boy. Oh wait, no, the cacophony is not complete. We need more cacophony. Alright, let's fucking go! I got a donation message! I gotta read a donation message at the same time! Hang on a minute, I gotta hold my mouse. We're going to the bookmark screen. Super Bunny Hop. Dun dun dun. Rum bum bum. Continue. Boom 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 boom. Ha ha ha! Fuck you, fuck you! Let's fill the screen up. Get that screen going. We want a huge mess all over the place here. What's that donation message say? Smack that subscribe bell. Thanks for the 50 cents spill Politet who's resubscribed tier 1. Awesome. Close enough. Okay, we are controlling Snake on the left and Crimson Clover World Ignition on the right. This is not good. This is very, very not good. I have to hold the crouch button down. I have to hold... I'm mistaking the audio cues for Twitch donation things. Bum bum bum. Okay, I can't move Snake up without taking massive amounts of risk. Alright, Snake, let's go. We got a quiet moment. Damn! Okay, we got a quiet moment now. While we're continuing, let's go. Let's get the boss fight going. Select level 6. Go. Alright, and start. Continue. Oh, come on, what's the... No. There we go. Okay. Ah! It's not. We're crouching too much. There is no synchronicity between the universes right now. In fact, we have entirely left reality. Snowfield, we have lost the save! I can't, it's not, no! Trying to play a shmup in Metal Gear Solid at the same time has resulted in me exiting from Metal Gear Solid, losing the save game I have worked on, and losing hours of progress. And I'm not feeling any better about it. Okay, let's see where that door is. Is this the level 7 door? Yes, it is. Okay, let's get left. Can we get left? Okay, we gotta move. I'm sorry, Crimson Cloverman. We gotta let go of the shoot button for a second. I'm so sorry. Oh boy, what is this? What is this? We need a chaff. I'm not gonna navigate that with, grenade, remote control, stinger. Where's the chaff? Which one's chaff? Chaff, okay. And go. Shoot. Wait, let's get Snake in position. Okay, there we go. There we go. Yeah. Oh. No. There's too much desynchronicity between the two universes. There's no way. These are utterly incompatible, and yet I'm telling you, I have so many bad brainworms, I almost want to give it a shot. No, there are very stupid thoughts floating through my head right now about staying up late and actually figuring out how to do this. I do not need to entertain those thoughts. I cannot even believe I am feeling that temptation right now. I am actually feeling it's the game on the right is fun. I'm only feeling the thoughts because the game on the right is fun, and it's a nice refreshing break from the repetitions I had grown frustrated from in the game on the left. I gotta turn the stream off soon. We got 15 minutes left. Let's see how far I can get. Oh, damn. Yeah, fuck off. Oh, man. Oh, my God. This is fucking... Why am I having fun doing this? Why am I having fun doing this? What in the hell is going on in my head to make me be having fun doing this? Ah! Okay. Okay. Where even is Snake? I just see a black screen. Damn. Get up, get off. Where? Snake, what are you doing? What are you... What the hell? Oh, it was the sniper rifle. Oh, no. Gah! Okay, so this is gonna be funny because in the Metal Gear Solid wall. No, shut up! Don't talk! Don't talk! Don't talk! Don't talk! Don't talk! Ah, ha. Oh, yeah! Are you guys seeing the meta games I am inventing at a millisecond by millisecond speed all of a sudden here? And how I am getting some kind of intrinsic feedback out of actually making little moments of this work. Ooh! This, I've never leaned like that in years, you guys. Ah. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's fucking go, 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 go. Damn. I don't think I'm gonna get past this crouchy obstacle because of the crouch button corresponding to the fire button. Oh wait, no, maybe I could have during the downtime in the boss fight. Yeah, maybe I gotta exploit this, exploit this. Let's go, 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 go. Plan A. Plan A was the... No! Oh, he's across the catwalk. He's actually across the catwalk! Yeah, and I'm just at this point I'm just fucking with the guards. I can't get over this. Yeah, there's like some very tempting thoughts to dedicate way more time to this than should ever be dedicated by any human being. Boy, oh boy, is it fun though. In the heat of the moment. Oh, wow. Okay, in the heat of the moment, every now and then, at the speed of thought at frame time, a little mini goal will crop up where the thought will flash you about how fun would it be to make Snake at least be able to cross the catwalk while playing both games at the same time. And the feeling of actually getting it and getting at least that far, I'm telling you guys, was incredible. Like, that was the something about the amount of processing this much visual information this fast and translating it into 2 different feeds of peripheral vision, not even really not even good vision of either screen, shitty vision of both screens. Like, I'm leaning. You guys see me making up for the finesse of movement required by getting in this subconscious tick habit. A quick double press of the fire button turns Snake's movement on and off. You gotta hold the fire button down, though. You're always holding the crouch button. But I have since realized that a quick double tap will turn Snake on and off, and I can manage his movement. This is... God. I can actually manage Snake's movement in little tiny increments by double tapping fire. There's a method to the madness. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. It does actually make a kind of sense after all. What in the world am I tapping into here? I'm almost scared. Like I've stumbled onto the Necronomicon or something. This isn't right. This should not be fun. This should not even be playable, and yet it is. It is fun and it is playable, but it is not right. It is wrong. Yeah, like I'm mashing together Barbies with trolls and creating disgusting homunculus creatures. My creativity is terrifying, you guys. Even I don't want to be looking at what I am looking at right now. How? How is anyone capable of such beautiful madness?